Hey guys, Dr. Kahu here and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be doing a new what if movie, and that is what if Deku had a super telekinetic quirk, the movie. Now as usual guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you guys want me to continue these My Hero Academia what if movies, 250 likes and 250 likes, I'll bring out My Hero Academia movies. Knowing that guys, my channel is going to be changing a lot as of this week and next week. Bear in mind, a lot is going to be changing, so I hope you guys all, if you guys are there to see it, will understand. I'm going to be doing memberships. Just going to give you guys a quick rundown of memberships. And what that entails is, if you do become a member, you actually get access to my what if movies, as opposed to what I'm going to be doing for next week's onwards, where I'm going to be going back to making parts again. So if you guys don't want to watch the parts and want to watch the movies, become a member, which I will put down on thing, you know. And on that guys, a lot of the what ifs that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be mix and matching between my other channels, so I hope you guys all understand, and I hope you guys are ready for hopefully a new Dr. Kahu type of what ifs, okay. But yeah, jibber jabber long enough, let's get into this new what if movie anyway, and that is what if Deku had a super telekinetic quirk, the movie. So of course guys, let our story begin. Now our story takes place, and a 4-year-old young Izuku is walking around kindergarten, seeing all his friends, you know, slowly but surely gaining their abilities, gaining their powers. What ends up going down is, as young Izuku is watching on, he's like hoping, please, can I get my mom's powers or my dad's powers? And so for the first week of watching all his friends get his quirk while he has nothing, young Izuku just sits there pondering, you know, having this headache fill up his head. He doesn't know why, but ever since he watched Kachan, or Bakugo, which I'm going to call him on the what if because I'm sick of saying Kachan. So ever since Izuku saw Bakugo get his quirk, Izuku just had this huge headache that he hasn't been able to shake for a whole week. Anko tried her best to, you know, like help him, like relieve him with like some water, fresh air, even some like painkillers, but no, nothing seemed to work, nothing at all. And so when Anko took Izuku to the quirk doctors, this is when Dr. Ujiko, he scanned Izuku and did all the preliminary tests and found that yes, your son Izuku Midori has a quirk, but for some reason he can't tell by the data or what he has been shown on the screen. So of course they just state that when Izuku manifests his quirk, just bring him in. And before they leave, he asks them, but by the way, what are your guys' quirks, yours and his father's quirks? Anko proceeds to tell them that 1, Hisashi has a fire breathing quirk, and 2, Anko has the ability to lightly control things, a weak telekinetical quirk. He goes, oh, I see. Well, your son can either range between having one yours or your husband's quirk, or a combination of the two. Either way, or something entirely. Quirks are not just normal in this day and age, things change, you know. Just when Izuku gets his quirk, let me know and we'll register it. Anko agrees and she takes Izuku home. Izuku's going home, he has a bad headache. It was frustrating him so much, and he looks at his mum's like, Mom, I just can't, Mom. And she just looks at Izuku and she's really worried about him. Doctors can't do nothing about it. They see this huge pressure on his head, but they just don't know what's going on. And then what goes down is when Izuku goes to school, what happens is he tells his friends that he has a quirk, but the doctors don't know what it is. And then, as Bakugo and the, Bakugo goes, well, hurry up, Izuku. I'm waiting for you to get your quirk. Once you get your quirk, then you can be like the rest of us, then. Izuku's like, yeah, I know, Kachan or Bakugo, okay? I know Bakugo. Izuku looks down, his head's really sore. Bakugo goes, what's the matter, Izuku? And he goes, I don't know, Katsuki. I don't know. I'm just in irritating pain. Izuku's walking. No one's realizing that, but things around Izuku start to vibrate. But what goes down is Izuku's just sitting there and really annoyed. And for the next couple of weeks, Izuku just goes through this pain. He just can't shake this pain at all. It got to the point where everyone didn't believe that Izuku had a quirk, regardless of what the doctor said. Even the doctor said it was kind of strange for Izuku not to manifest the quirk despite him having a quirk. And so as Izuku's going on, he's already turned 5 now, and everyone just full on outright states that Izuku don't have a quirk. This is when Izuku for the first time stands up for himself, 1, and not only that 2, when his quirk actually activates. Upon Izuku exiting the class, he looks around like he's really irritated because of his headache, you know. He's for the last couple of weeks or months, he's just had this straight pain over his head. Doctors can't do nothing, glasses do nothing, nothing works for him. It really irritates him. The only thing he really realizes that helps him out is reading books. Izuku don't realize that it's only passive, but reading books and seeing hero stuff and analyzing, that became part of the stuff that took away from the headache that Izuku kind of had, you know, building up on himself. what goes down is on the fateful day of Izuku, had enough of his headaches. He's walking around and he hears a light explosion and a kid screaming. Izuku turns around and sees a boy on the ground. He's like, what the? And he looks right at Bakugo, and Bakugo's standing there with his two cronies. He goes, this is what you get for being useless. You think you're look over me? And Izuku's like, what the hell? Katsuki, what are you? As Izuku's about to react, his head goes in absolute pain. He's like, ah, damn! And he's crying like the pain hurts. And as Izuku looks on, Bakugo stands over the boy, punching his hand together. He goes, boys, let's teach this kid a lesson, okay? So he never needs to mess with any of us again and acts like he's a hero. You fake. And as Bakugo states there, and he's about to rush over Izuku without hesitating, he stands in front of all of them and goes, what you doing, Katsuki? You better stop this now. And he goes, oh? And what are you going to do about it, young Izuku? And then Bakugo goes to Izuku looking down and goes, you know what? That's not even worth calling you that. We should call you Deku. Izuku has a vein on his head. He goes, what did you call me? And he goes, you heard me, Deku. It means useless, worthless, good for nothing. That type of word that you use when you look at someone that has no quirk. And Izuku gets a massive vein on the other side of his head. And he goes, I told you before, Katsuki, I have a quirk. He goes, no you don't have a quirk, you're lying. And even if you do have a quirk, it's nothing special. You either shoot a little fire out of your mouth or move a little object like your mum. And Inko's got a weak quirk. Izuku gets really frustrated, he bites his lip, and he goes, you know what boys, let's teach young Izuku here, I'll classify him as Deku, you hear me? His name is Deku from now on. Let's do to Deku what we're gonna do to this other kid, since he wants to be a hero. And Izuku puts his hands up and goes, I'm not backing down this, Bakugo! Izuku gets really angry, And then Bakugo rushes, goes, fine then, get him boys! They both rush at Izuku and Bakugo is just standing there waiting. But what happens is, unintentionally, Izuku goes, as they're about to hit him, both the boy that stretches his hands out and the one with the wings are about to hit Izuku. Izuku's eyes glow. Bakugo sees his eyes glow. A green aura appears around Izuku. A vein appears on Izuku's head. His hair raises up. He looks at the two boys. He goes, I said no! Boom, the two boys get frozen in midair, and they get sent flying, making crater into the wall. Tsubasa and the boy with the long hands, they're badly injured. Blood coming out of their mouths, they just got slammed into the wall full force. Bakugo looks at this, and the massive weight that was on Izuku's mind, the massive headache they had in Izuku's head, was finally gone. And Izuku's absolute power, his quirk, manifested. Izuku started to float in the air unintentionally, cracking the ground, making mini tornadoes around him. This scares Bakugo, goes, what the hell is this? What are you doing, Deku? It's... Izuku goes, what's the matter, Kachan? This is my quirk. He hears Izuku's, really, really glaring speech pattern. Bakugo hears him, and he's like, Deku, and Izuku instantly flicks his wrist. Bakugo gets caught in Izuku's telekinetic hold. Izuku pulls Bakugo up, and Izuku's like, wow, this is so simple. All I need to do is think, and you come to me. As if Izuku thinks of a fist, and it punches Bakugo right in the gut. As this invisible energy hits Bakugo in the gut, he spits out saliva, and he hits the ground. And as he hits the ground, Izuku puts his hand down, as if he's slapping the table. But as he puts his hand down, Bakugo gets slammed into the ground, cratering, and he coughs out a little bit of blood, and he's in absolute pain. And Izuku's standing there, and as he stops there, he kind of wakes up in his mind. He's like, no, stop. Izuku quiets himself down. He goes down. He realizes that he has absolute control. His quirk, as if Izuku has woken up with all this power, and it's at the tip of his fingers. Anything he wants to do, Izuku lands immediately, and he goes, Katsuki, Bakugo, and Bakugo is just in absolute pain. Izuku pretty much crushed him under the weight of his telekinetic push. The other two boys are completely knocked out on the ground. By the time Izuku could gain his thoughts, the boy that saw Izuku save him ran away, one, thanking Izuku for saving him, and two, because he's really scared of Izuku now, unintentionally. What ends up going down is 5 minutes later, the teachers come out and they see the carnage. They see Izuku float in the midair, and they naturally assume it's all Izuku. So all parents are called to the office, and just like how Bakugo is a swindle and a liar, he lies to the teacher, stating that Izuku used his quirk against them and forced them down. Izuku tried to protest, he really did, and it made Izuku really angry. A vein appeared in his head and the room started to shake. And Inko sees this, he's like, Izuku, are you? And Izuku's got a massive vein on his head, his eyes are glowing green. He's looking right at Bakugo, wanting to destroy him, and Bakugo's giving him a smug look. And Izuku stands up and he goes, Bakugo's lying. Okay, I only did what I could to help. The teachers were there and they did nothing. They walked away. And as the principal looked at Izuku, everyone's starting to realize that Izuku is starting to become smarter than he should be for his age. All the words that he stated were correct, even though he's a 5-year-old kid. Izuku explains, he goes, if it wasn't for me, Bakugo and his 2 friends would have beat him up. I stopped them. My quirk manifested by stopping them. And they looked at Izuku, and first the teacher that heard Izuku pretty much call them out and state that they were there, tried to lie and try to act like, no we weren't, and you caused all the trouble. And Inko sees this, and this makes her angry. She goes, how often do you see bullying like this happen, especially with Katsuki? Izuku, you're safe, you can tell us. Izuku goes, this is the first time and only time that I've ever interfered with the Katsuki's ramblings, but I can tell you, Mom, he's been doing this for a while now, and the teacher just let it, because he's someone cool with an explosion quirk. Whoopee. All I see is a dangerous quirk. How's he going to be a hero when all he does is blow things up? And he acts like a villain too, Mom. All he does is stand over people and using his powers against them. He got 2 lackeys as if they're his cronies, his bad guy duo. All 3 of them are just not good at all. And I'm getting the blame for them. I defended myself and I defended the other kids in this bureaucratic school, and this is when Inko starts to realize Izuku's starting to get smarter and smarter and smarter as they stay in their room. And as Izuku gets really frustrated, a vein appears again and cracks the desk between him and the principal. And Inko sees this thing, puts her hand on Izuku's shoulder and tells him, I'm going to take him to the quirk doctors. And Inko pulls up, lifts up his son and explains to them, I'm going to lay a formal complaint to your school. Your school condones bullying, and my son's getting in trouble for defending himself against bullies that would otherwise hurt him with their quirks. Mizuki hears this and trusts Izuku because, one, this boy's like, why would he do so? Why would he lie? And she understands her son's temperament. And so as Inko leaves the building, what ends up going down is Katsuki gets the beating of his life, you know? But things and storyline is dramatically going to change from this point onwards. As Izuku and Inko get into the car, Izuku states to his mother that he does not want to go back to that school. He does not want to go back with Katsuki Bakugo. He's a liar and he hates him. He hates him so much that his quirk frustrates him. He lifts the car up with Inko in it. And at first Inko is really scared, but then she realizes, wait, Izuku, you have my quirk. And she cries, she's like, oh my gosh, she hugs her son. I'm so proud of you. I don't care what they do. I'm so proud of you. You're so special. And Izuku's like, oh, Mom. And Inko, like, kind of slowly, but Izuku doesn't want to stop her as well, because, well, come on. Her son having a quirk like hers, and even more powerful, like, so Izuku just lets his mum, you know, indulge in it, relax and enjoy it, and he's like, oh, okay, Mom. And then Inko stops, she goes, wait. Anyway, how did you know how to speak like that? How do you understand? And Izuku goes, I can't explain it to you, Mom. It's just like I have all this plethora of knowledge within my mind, and I can just understand everything so easily, and everything just... It's simple. And then goes like, I see. Alright, my young Izu, let's go to the quirk doctors to get you checked again, and we'll celebrate, okay? Let's take your mind off what happened at school, alright? And Izuku feels this weight of his shoulder. The vein that he had built up disappears. He looks at his mum and goes, alright, Mom. The car stops glowing and they drive up to the quirk doctors. They get to the quirk doctors, and the quirk doctor himself, it's not Dr. Ujiko this time, it's someone else. As they see the doctor is so surprised upon Izuku's readings. They do a quirk analysis, everything like that, and they realize that Izuku's quirk is beyond normal. Coming with his telekinetic abilities, he has this force field around his body that's practically indestructible. And they're unsure how far Izuku's telekinetic abilities can go, but if what they observed when they took a piece of his skin tissue to put it under the microscope to perfectly test Izuku's, well, abilities, what happens when they removed the plaster, the skin tissue was gone, was instantaneously repaired, as if Izuku's telekinetic quirk fixed his body instantly. And not only that, Izuku's body doesn't even show any form of exertion or weakness after Izuku using his quirk, nor no feedback or side effect. Izuku explains though that the side effect is Izuku gets headaches if he doesn't keep his mind occupied, if he doesn't read books, or if he doesn't, you know. And the doctors just look at Izuku and are so surprised, and so they get Izuku to do a quirk test on his powers, and that they're amazed he can lift up 50 tons as a little 5-year-old kid. It scares the hell out of them. They're like, what the hell? A kid can lift up a 50-ton truck? Like, it confuses the doctors absolutely. And so they run so much tests on Izuku, they even go as far to, unfortunately, do a projectile test on Izuku, which Izuku states to his mum that everything's fine, Mum. And bear in mind, this is over 1 month of testing. and they come to the conclusion that Izuku has one of the, or is the most powerful telekinetic user in the world. Not only that, thanks to Izuku having this telekinetic ability, his mental mindscape, or his mental capabilities are beyond any other level besides someone with a super intelligent quirk, just like Principal Nezu. So for a 5-year-old kid, he's reading at a college level, if not higher. And this shocks Inko. And the Doctor himself is so surprised too. He is really surprised. And so what goes down is the Doctor states that Izuku is very special, very, very powerful. Like, they cannot believe it. If Izuku was to put any form of training into his abilities, they can't even scared to believe what kind of hero / villain he can become. But Izuku outright states that he wants to become a hero like All Might. But at the same time, he wants to become a hero to protect people and to make sure people like his mom are safe. And to make sure bullies like Katsuki Bakugo will never hurt kids that are either quirkless or have weak quirks ever again. Izuku promises that. He stands up, and the Doctor smiles and goes, "Well, kid, if you become a hero, then I will surely endorse you. Your quirk's amazing. You don't know how much power you have within your abilities, you know." And Izuku begins to, he goes, "Before I send you off on your way, I would like to continue this therapy course to see where the limits of your quirks are right now." Inko agrees, you know. And what goes down is the Doctor's really cool. He has a connection to Recovery Girl. And what goes down is, after the next month, Izuku trains with the Doctor, you know, and the Doctor realizes that yes, Izuku has a healing factor thanks to his quirk. The Doctor dubs it tactile telekinetical healing. So it's like, unlike telekinesis, where it's a wireless thing where you can project your mindscape, your ability to grab things and move things with your outside your mind without touching. Tactile telekinesis is when you physically touch things, you know, and can influence them by a physical touch. Izuku has both of them. However, the telekinetical abilities that exist outside his body is hundreds of times more powerful. Doesn't mean Izuku's tactile telekinesis is weak either. But what goes down is they realize that thanks to Izuku's tactile telekinesis, he can heal his own injuries. And not only that, he can heal other people's injuries too. But it will take time, and it uses their energy, much like Recovery Girls. However, the only difference is Izuku can blend his own energy to help the healing process at the same time. Not only that, Izuku has super intelligence. The Doctor outright states Izuku's quirk is super intelligence as well. And what they found out is Izuku is immune to all forms of diseases, all forms of sicknesses. Izuku's own natural ability quirk gives him such diverse range that it quite literally is astounding, to the point where he actually contacts Recovery Girl herself and tells him that there's a kid that relatively has a similar quirk to you, but it's a telekinesis quirk. And she hears this, but he also explains, but his quirk doesn't just stop there. His one quirk is like a multitude of different factors where placed into his quirk. His telekinesis is his main quirk, but with his physical touch is a tactile telekinesis where he can interact with things and make them move, or make a 100-ton object weigh zero, even though it still exists. And not only that, he can heal any person's injury, much like yours, but into a greater degree. And she's like, whoa. And he goes, not only that, his intelligence is beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. He's smarter than any of us. He learned all my doctor's principle. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Doctor says in such an excitement. He learned everything in a week. I told him all the medical history, everything. And this kid just ate it up as if he was a sponge to water. And Recovery Girl's just shocked. She's like, I will speak to Principal Nezu and we'll discuss things, okay? How old is this kid? Is he like, what, 14, 15? When can he come to UA? The Doctor goes, no, this kid's only 5 years old. And she's like, what? Her eyes widen. 5 years old? And he goes, yes, his name is Izuku Midoriya. And I dub his quirk Super Telekinesis. And she's like, she's just shocked, she's baffled. And what goes down is, I'll get to phoning Principal Nezu as we speak. I would like to see this young man. And so what goes down is, as Izuku finally goes home from the Quirk Doctors, you know, missing 2 months of school, which you don't care because he would have destroyed Bakugo. What ends up going down is Inko celebrates with Izuku, and Izuku is happy, you know. And what happens is Inko buys Izuku, what's it called, a 10,000 piece Death Star kit, you know. I'm just going to stay there for a lot from Star Wars, you know. And she goes, well, the Doctor told you to practice with your Quirk, right? Well, here's some encyclopedias, A to Z. And Izuku sees them, he's so excited, and he's like, not only that, here's a 10,000 piece Death Star. So I want you to read, he told me to tell you to read all these books and create the Death Star at the same time. And he goes, oh, but you gotta read the books with your hands and use the Death Star with your telekinesis. Izuku's like, alright, Mom. He's so excited having his mom back up, and he goes, hey, Mom, just one question. And she goes, yes, Izuku? can I become a hero? And she laughs at that. So she laughs so hard, and she grabs her son for a biggest hug, and she goes, never in my life have I been sure about anything, my young Izu. But when it comes to you, you're going to become the greatest hero everyone has ever seen. No villain will want to stand to you. Even if they try to, they won't be standing for long, Inko stated. Izuku smiles as he hugs his mum. A little bit of tears going down his eyes as tears go down her eyes, and Izuku starts to make them both float. And Inko is just so surprised at his son's power. And so what goes down, after the weekend goes by and it comes before school starts, Inko gets a call. She gets a call from Principal Nezu of all people. He goes, good morning. I'm Principal Nezu from UA High School. Nice to meet you. I've been actually brought up to date with your son's abilities, and I can tell you right now they're really fascinating. I would like to know if you and your son would like to come to UA for some test and a talk, if you don't mind. Inko's kind of shocked. She's like, what does the principal of UA want with me and my son? Is it because of his quirk? And Inko's like, well, it has to be, you know? And she goes, alright, yeah, right away, I'll bring my son in. I was going to take him to school today, but my son's reluctant to go to school thanks to, seeing someone at school. And Nezu hears this in his voice. Oh, I see. Well, if you guys don't mind coming up today, I'll happily be able to see you guys today. And Inko's like, alright. Hey, Izu, change of plans. You're not actually going to go to school today. Instead, you're going to be going to UA High School. Izuku goes, excuse me? What did you say to me, Mom? And as Inko looks through the door, Izuku has finished the Death Star. All 10,000 pieces floating in the mid-air as if it's destroying things. Izuku has all the encyclopedias floating in mid-air, and Izuku's reading every single page, taking photographic memories of everything, remembering everything, noticing everything. And as Izuku closes all the books, he goes, well, that's done. Inko smiles. Izuku stacks up all the books in his library. And what goes down is Izuku puts the Death Star down on a stand. And he goes, well, I finished it, Mum. Anyway, what's happening? You said something about UA? And she goes, yeah, the principal called and asked if we could come to the school. Would you like to go? And Izuku's like, hell yes, Mum. Yes. And she smiles. Even though Izuku can speak and is smarter than any adult that she ever knows, Izuku still has childlike tendencies, which he should. He's only a 5-year-old kid. But anyway, Izuku and them, they spend the next 25 to 30 minutes driving in the car until they get to the front of UA. But what goes down is, as Inko drives to the front of UA, a voice heard over the intercom tells Inko to follow all the way around until you get to the teacher's parking. You can park your car within the walls of UA, and there you'll be approached by one of the teachers, or if not, recovery girl, and she'll bring you to me. And Inko's like, okay. She takes Izuku to into the school, and as she does so, she realizes that Izuku's reading a hero book and writing things down, just everything, and she realizes that her son's one of the best artists she's ever seen. Like, she goes, how come her son's so gifted? And makes her so happy. And so as they park up, Izuku gets out of the car. He starts to float unintentionally, and Inko tells Izu, you're floating. Oh, sorry, Mum. He lands, and as they're walking, Izuku's just chirpy, cheery, happy, but he still has this anger behind him. This thing behind him that he can't shake. He hates bullies. It's something that affected him so. And as Izuku's walking with his mum, this is when they're met by President Mike. He goes, welcome, young listeners and adults, to UA. I'm your person that's going to be escorting you to the principal's office. I am President Mike. Izuku sees President Mike. He's like, whoa. He ends to grab his book out of nowhere. Everyone goes like, where did that book come from again? Izuku begins to write down on the left side of the book all of what President Mike is and all the possibilities of his quirk, his pros and cons. At the same time, another pencil is drawn on the right side, with Izuku using Izuku's using both his left and right hand to draw, and he's using the telekinesis to hold the books. So his right hand's drawing a picture of President Mike, while Izuku's left hand is writing down all the information. It doesn't bother Izuku if he draws with his left hand and writes with the right hand, or writes with the left hand and draws with his right hand. That doesn't faze him. It doesn't bother him at all. His mind is just perfect. But as he's doing this, President Mike goes, is your son okay? He's muttering to himself, and he says, oh, he's a hero fan. He loves everything. He can tell you right now all your weaknesses, all your strength, and what can be better with your quirk and all that stuff. And I know that he's a pretty good drawer. Once he finishes, he'll show you it. And as she says that, Izuku finishes and goes, well, this is what I was doing. He shows a picture of President Mike, and he's like, wow, that's amazing, young listener. That's incredible. You're such a great artist. Is that your quirk? And then he looks at the details of Izuku's writing. He's like, whoa. Hold on, wait a minute. this is just your analysis of me? Just by seeing me? Izuku said, yeah. This is just by me seeing you. I just deduced all the abilities that you possibly have. You have that thing around your neck, so obviously that amplifies your quirk. And not only that, you act a certain way, even with the fact of blah 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 blah. Izuku starts to go faster and faster, muttering. And Inko taps Izuku. Izu, you're muttering again. Come on, wasting time. Izuku says, oh, sorry, Mom. Izuku puts the book away, and President Mike goes, wow, this kid's incredible. Once they get to what's it called? Principal Nezu's office, Izuku remembered the entire school he walked around. He remembered all the areas where he went and understood everything. And as Inko and them knock on the door, President Mike goes, well, I look forward to seeing you in the future, young listener. By the way, what's your name anyway? And he goes, oh, I'm Izuku Midoriya. And he goes, well, nice to meet you, Izuku Midoriya. As I said before, I'm President Mike. You're right there, young man. Izuku smiles. Nice to meet you, President Mike. And Izuku walks in the office with Inko. And as Izuku makes contact with Principal Nezu, Nezu goes, that was an interesting reaction you gave me, young man. And Izuku goes, I didn't think I gave you any reaction, sir. And he smiles and goes, this kid is something else. And so as Principal Nezu begins to talk to Inko, what goes down is Izuku's just assessing Principal Nezu and goes, what are you? You're some chimera-like animal type person with a quirk. Incredible. And then Izuku notices that scar in his eyes. So humans weren't good to him, eh? Interesting. Izuku begins to write this all down, even drawing a picture of Principal Nezu at the same time. And then after Inko and Principal Nezu finished talking, Izuku finished the picture, put the book down, and he goes, I got a question before we start talking, Principal Nezu. And he goes, yes, young man. I seen you observing and drawing images of me and writing things down. Explain. Izuku goes, well, judging by the look of things, you're a chimera-like creature. You're unsure whether you're a bear, cat, dog, animal, right? And he goes, yes, you're absolutely right. Izuku goes, one thing I can conclude is you have super intelligence, or some type of super intelligent quirk that allows you to, well, cognitive, or just see better than all of us, right? And he goes, you're very much so right, young man. I say that your intelligence is beyond another level I see. And Izuku goes, yeah, well, it comes with my quirk, I guess. And he goes, anyway, did you hear anything me and your mother were speaking about? Izuku goes, yes, I did hear everything you guys spoke about. You would like to aid and help me with my quirk. Not only that, you would like to bring me out of the school that I'm at and bring me to another school that has other pro hero children going to it, or other heroes that can be made beneficial for my quirk. Is that right? And it goes, yes, very much so, young man. But first, before we start, I'd like you to play me out a game. And so Izuku goes, very well. Izuku begins to float over to Principal Nezu. And bear in mind, this is a 5-year-old kid. Principal Nezu brings out his chessboard and his other game, which I just don't remember. If you guys can remember what the other game is, let me know. And it goes, I've been waiting for a long time to challenge someone at this game. And Izuku looks at it and goes, alright then. And so as Izuku and Principal Nezu begin to speak, they're playing speed chess, and it's so fast Inko can't even believe it, and Principal Nezu's enjoying every bit of it, you know. They're having the biggest nerd conversation ever. Principal Nezu talked to Izuku for like 2 minutes normal speech, and they started going off on like major educational, all the highest type of talking that you can ever speak of, like as if you're Jordan Peterson. Nah. Anyway, what goes down is as Izuku is talking to Nezu, Nezu is really enjoying himself. He never gets to talk to someone so much like himself, you know, but with so much power. Izuku's just sitting in mid-air talking to Nezu, and he's actually having fun too, you know. He can't believe it, how much fun he's actually being challenged by someone else with the same intelligent quirk, you know. At the end of it, Nezu goes, well then, it's decided. One, he moves his piece, and both Izuku and Nezu get a stalemate, they both can't beat each other. And Nezu smiles. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And Izuku goes, oh, were you hoping to get weren't you hoping to win? And Nezu goes, oh yeah, I was definitely hoping to win, but judging with the person with a super intelligent quirk, it wasn't a guarantee. And just to find that you're really intelligent to the point where you actually will give me a run for my money, young man, doing an equal game, I would rather go for that than losing to a 5-year-old kid. And Izuku smiles and goes, thank you for that, Principal Nezu, I apologize so much. And Principal Nezu goes, it's fine, young man. But what's going to happen is, so do you want to take up the scholarship with UA and go to a school that is privately funded? And I can help you with that, and I can help you with everything. Izuku looks at his mum, and Inko states that while I told him about Katsuki and how, and Izuku, as she said that, a vein appeared on Izuku's head and the room started to shake violently. And Nezu noticed this and he goes, oh, so the name Katsuki does trigger you. I see. Then it's more important than ever that I do take you on a scholarship, young man. And Izuku looks at Nezu and he just understands. He's like, alright then. I don't mind as long as this is not a hassle. And he goes, oh, not a hassle at all. I'm a billionaire. I got so much money, it's not even funny. And with your extreme intelligence, you'll be able to surpass me any day. Izuku smiles and he goes, but before you go, I would like to run some tests if you don't mind. And Izuku goes, yes, sweet as. So they take him to a normal gym where they have power loader and have his robots. And what happens? They just want to do a general test on how strong Izuku's physical abilities and telekinetical abilities. And so what goes down is Izuku goes, so what do you want me to do? And he goes, well, by those files, you have tactile telekinesis. And Izuku goes, yes. So you can pretty much use your telekinesis within your bodies to give you super strength, speed, and all that stuff. And Izuku goes, yes, I can. He goes, you want to give it a go? And Izuku goes, I would, but it's not as strong as I would be if I used my telekinesis outside my body. And Izuku goes, well, there it is then. Your telekinetical abilities are far beyond normal. Actually, it's not even natural at all. Your powers surpass your parents. If I was to really say it, your power would easily scale up to All Might. Izuku's eyes widen. Excuse me? He goes, I've watched everything at All Might and I can tell you right now, I've analysed everything, knows all his movements, everything about All Might, especially with my super intelligent quirk. But are you telling me that my telekinesis can rival that of All Might's? And Izuku smiles, yes, even at your 5 years old age right now. Izuku says, huh? And Izuku goes, surprising you, right? Well, this is why I called you in. Once I heard your quirk and once I heard all the factors of your quirk, I needed to help you. Because you'll be way too dangerous. No one would win in a fight against you if you became a villain. Enko looked at Nezu, and Nezu goes, I had to be proactive and choose my battles. You young Izuku Midoriya, I need to focus on you. I'm not going to be sad to the rest of all my students, but no one comes close to you I've ever seen in this power. No one comes close to you I've ever seen with this intelligence. What I'm saying, young Izuku Midoriya, you're the person I've been looking for years. And Izuku just looks at Nezu and is shocked. And he smiles. And you never need to worry about financial gain or anything like that, young Enko. Miss Midoriya, I will help you and your families. Enko is shocked, and with Izuku saying he'll take it, Enko agrees, and so right away, as Nezu states that, Enko and them move into their new life. They get put into a new school, new everything. Enko actually starts to work at UA. She actually becomes a helper for Recovery Girl, because Recovery Girl wants to understand how Izuku's quirk is. And so Izuku, even though he's going to go to a normal school and the school is going to be with Shoto, Todoroki and Momo, the same school they go to, what ends up going to go down though is Izuku's going to be doing a lot of training at UA. Now, Nezu would rather have Izuku learn from him from day one from now, but there's certain regulations, and because they don't have the facilities at the school yet for kids under a certain age, and it is a high school after all, Izuku has to go to a normal school growing up. So he goes to a kindy, and he grows up and he meets a lot of students, but they don't faze him, you know. Only one student phases him, one student catches his eye, and she is astoundingly shocking to his mind when he meets her, and this is a young 6-year-old Momo Yaoyorozu. Todoroki, I think, stays homeschooled for now, but I think Momo goes to school. If not, I'm going to state that Izuku is going to meet Momo sooner or later, but what's going to go down is Izuku's going to grow up in his life. He's going to live his life. Things are going to change so much for him that it's not even funny. He's going to get training by top heroes, in fact, hand-to-hand training from what's it called, Aizawa, you know, the ability to do certain things. He's going to learn all that stuff from the teachers. He's even going to learn how to use his healing quirk properly, or his healing tactile telekinesis touch by Recovery Girl, all that jazz. He's going to be pushed through his limits. Not only that, Nezu's going to always challenge Izuku mentally, giving him equations after equations. Every time Nezu sees Izuku, he goes, I wish I could just adopt you. You're so perfect. You're like the best child I wish I had, you know. And Izuku sees Principal Nezu as a sensei, as master. He starts to look up to Nezu more and more, just as much as he looks up to All Might, okay? By default, All Might, you know, you would look up to him because he can punch a hurricane in your face. So you want to look at someone so strong like that. But when it comes to Principal Nezu, Izuku sees him as All Might's equal. It's incredible. It's shocking. And so for the next 2 years, I'm just going to stay, okay? So scratch out the idea that Izuku knows Shoto, Todoroki, or Momo. No, I'm going to scratch that out all the way up to Izuku's 10. This is when he's going to meet Shoto, Todoroki, and Momo, or mostly Momo. Now Izuku leaves his school and goes to a much more higher school. At the age of 10, Izuku is just different, you know? He's so much more powerful. His regular training with Aizawa and all of them still goes on. And Izuku has, learned a lot of tricks, His telekinesis and tactile telekinesis is able to help people in so much ways, especially Aizawa. Aizawa loves Izuku as his favorite student. Like, he smiles when Izuku's around. He doesn't even call Izuku a problem child. He calls Izuku his headache. Hey, what are you doing here, headache? And Izuku goes, oh, well, I do come to train with you, but I'm on a break. You're alright? And he goes, I'm going to take a nap. Why is that? Izuku walks over and touches Aizawa's arm. And touching Aizawa's arm, Izuku energizes Aizawa. Aizawa, he's like, okay, kid. You got my attention. Let's train then. And so Izuku trains with Aizawa all the time. Now, when it came time for Izuku to start his new school, when he gets into his new school, everyone's all the same. Izuku looks around and sees all the students, but one student takes his eye absolutely, and that's Momo. It shocks her, like, one, she is beautiful for her age, and two, something about her is special. And so Izuku sits down, and as he sits down, he goes through the years at the school, and everyone introduces themselves and shows their kind of quirks, kind of shows their quirks, but Shoto Todoroki says nothing. He's just an introvert, sits at the back. And Izuku's still a smiley kid, but everything's just too slow for him. Everything annoys him though. That's the problem with Izuku's quirk. Because he's so smart and he's just so strong, everything's too slow for him. Everything's not where he wants things to be. Like just hurry up, stop wasting time. For Izuku, time wasting is really annoying. He got the habit from Aizawa. Wasting time annoys Izuku, and so after the teacher said it, Izuku just stands up. I'm Izuku Midoriya. My quirk is super telekinetic, telekinesis. Simple, cool. Izuku sits down. When everyone hears this, like, what? Super telekinesis? Like what? Even Momo hears this. But what goes down is everyone starts to talk and everyone starts to hang out. And Izuku's been a quirk nerd, he's still a nerd, and he still writes down everyone's quirk. But this is when he meets Momo. And when Izuku sees her, he talks to her briefly, but she's still a shy girl. She disappears into her car and goes off home. As Izuku sees this, goes, I don't know. What ends up going down is a car from UA picks up Izuku, and Izuku goes back home as well. And from there, that's how Izuku's kind of situation is, until one day Izuku goes to Dagobah Beach at 11 years old, age 11, and when he's there, he looks at the beach and he goes, what the hell? Why the hell do people do this? He just finds it irritating, and he goes, I can't use my quirk to clean it all, and I'm too young to ask if I can get a permission to clean it. Izuku's like, frustrating. And as he sees this, he sees a girl with the black hair, just in the distance walking. And as he sees her, it's Momo, But as Izuku goes over to go see her, she's already back in the car and disappears. And Izuku's like, wow, that girl, she's something else. I heard she got a unique quirk, but I haven't been able to talk to her. Interesting. Izuku walks away, and then he instantly, unintentionally begins to fly, and he just flies at such blinding speeds that he appears in front of his house. As he gets there, he sees his mum. She finishes work. Bear in mind, Inko is working at UA. Not only that, Inko is learning how to use her quirk, okay? Thanks to Izuku, he's able to help teach his mum how to use her quirk more beneficial. Now, what's cool is Inko finds out that she actually has the ability to make one object, no matter what weight, float around her in her eyesight, okay? She can't make multiple things float, but she can make one thing float and control it and bring it towards her, which is a useful tool too, especially for a recovery girl, because recovery girl can't pick up people's bodies and put them on beds. So what goes down, Inko uses her abilities to make people float and put them on the beds, while recovery girl checks them over and heals them. Inko becomes her main worker, And so as Izuku begins to acclimate fully to the new school, I'm just going to time skip to the age of 14, okay? I'm going to do a massive time skip. By that time, Izuku's power has dramatically increased, okay? 100 tons for Izuku is nothing. He can lift it up and spin it around his head, lift it up and down. No, nothing like that. Aizawa's training, Izuku has become a master at it, He's mastered all of Aizawa's Wing Chun fighting, even the ability to use the scarf, even though he doesn't need to use the scarf. Not only that, Izuku became really good at emotional control thanks to Hound Dog. Even though Izuku has the anger behind him, Hound Dog knows Izuku has this anger behind him. He feels sorry for the young man because he must have went through something kind of traumatic to have this anger. And so Izuku is quite in depth with emotional stuff, unlike his own. Izuku is really knowledgeable with anatomy as well, because he's also a recovery girl student. And he's he's Nezu's favorite person to hang around with. There's a new game, new equations, everything. Nezu never runs out of things to get Izuku to do. He even gets Izuku to work with Power Loader thanks to his intelligence. And Izuku also helps Power Loader with lots of things, which surprises Power Loader himself. But what goes down is Zuku's on the last day of middle school, and he goes to school and he lands, and even though he's seen Momo and Todoroki for like 3 years, yeah, they just stayed away. They just stayed their introvert selves until Izuku was over it, He made the move. He noticed Momo was looking at him and stuff like that, but he was over it, so he walks over to her and goes, hey Momo. And Momo's just shocked, so he goes, hey Yaoyorozu. And she's shocked to see Izuku look at her, even just talk to her, the smartest kid in the class, the strongest kid in the class, that's what they look at, Izuku Midoriya. And Shoto Todoroki has his jealousy towards Izuku because he's like that, and so does Momo, kind of, okay? And as Izuku's about to talk to Momo just explains that, sorry, she's not really much of a talkative person. She starts to blush and walks away. And Izuku looks over and he just registers something different about her, she's an introvert. Different like the bi-coloured boy over there. But what's wrong with her? He knows that Quirk can do unique things, but like, why is she so closed off, He's so confused about this. But anyway, Izuku's going around, walking around until he realizes he can apply for it now. And so Izuku goes to Nezu and asks if he could use Nezu's contacts to apply for him to clean Dagobah Beach. Nezu goes, why do you want to clean Dagobah Beach? And Izuku goes, 1, I just hate the way it looks. I want to walk around that beach at least. And 2, it'll be fun. I got 10 months before UA starts. Might as well give it a go. And Nezu goes, alright then. 5-minute phone call, and Izuku goes, I spoke to the city council and they have agreed as long as you have someone there to watch you. And what goes down, Izuku's like, alright then, I think I know someone I can hassle to help me. And Nezu smiles, oh, he's gonna love it. And Izuku smiles and he walks, and as he leaves the room, he moves his finger, and as he moves his finger, the rook and the queen blocks off Nezu's king on any form of movement, and Izuku gets checkmate. Nezu's like, damn, that's 100 to 50. Nezu's smiling, Izuku got 100, and Nezu's got 50, and he's like, this kid's amazing. He just loves seeing Izuku. He's put everything he has on Izuku's life. He just sees that Izuku's going to be the #1 hero, hands down. And so, as Izuku gets to Dagobah Beach, he gets his phone out and texts us, and what ends up coming down, a scruffy-haired man with a scarf around his neck, looking really tired. So, Midoriya, what do you want, headache? I thought it was an emergency. Izuku, it is an emergency. I need you to observe me while I use my quirk to clean up this beach. And he goes, what? Why? I'm too tired. Izuku walks up to Aizawa and touches his shoulder. He recovers his energy immediately, and Aizawa's like, you like to use that cheat code, don't you, kid? And Izuku's like, yeah, well, 1, I wouldn't have had such good training from you if I didn't help rejuvenate your energy. And 2, I want to walk around this beach without, having this ugliness in front of me. Who knows? And it will be good for the community as well. Aizawa goes, alright kid, just note that I'm going to use, since you're allowed to use your quirk, I'm going to record you for teaching purposes. Izuku's like, fair enough. Izuku stands up on the railing and he goes, let's give this a go. And Aizawa goes, you have 5 minutes to clean the beach. Izuku looks at Aizawa, 5 minutes? Alright then. Izuku waves his left hand from the inside of his chest, and he waves it out like a push of wind. And in doing so, what goes down, a green aura of energy envelops every single rubbish that is on top of the surface. And then Izuku flicks his wrist up, all the rubbish lift up. And if you want to have a little reference on what kind of ability Izuku's telekinesis look like, just look at Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. The quirk is exactly the same, and no, I'm not going to make Izuku Tatsumaki's reincarnation, no. This Izuku is Izuku, okay? His quirk is a more powerful version to his mum's, that's it. Anyway, Izuku uses her, and as he pulls all the rubbish up that he's picked up, Aizawa's just impressed, he goes, damn kid. All I can tell you is you never stop ceasing to amaze me. It's just astounding. The raw power you have, and you're not even flexing, right? And Izuku said, no, I'm not. And Izuku halves all the rubbish over the entire car park, and he crushes his hand. And closing his hand, all the rubbish pile up together, smashing into pieces, crushing more, until it becomes a massive molten cube. Because bear in mind, when you super squeeze metal and you do it with so much force, metal heats up rapidly fast. So Izuku's crushing tons upon tons of metal into this cube until Izuku crushes it down even more until Izuku turns all the rubbish of Dagobah Beach into a hand-sized cube. And Izuku holds the cube in his hand and he goes, wow, I can tell you right now, Aizawa Sensei, if you would have touched this and I was all putting your hand, I'll rip your entire arm off and crush the ground. Aizawa goes, yeah, why is that? Because despite the trash only being over 100 tons in this area, because I crushed it into a dense enough cube, it weighs even more. As I was like, alright kid, well, we need to dispose upon the thing. Izuku, okay then. Izuku instantly flexes his hand, destroys all the metal, turns and Aizawa was like, how did you? And Izuku's like, basic physics. I just did I pretty much did a mini tornado on the cellular structure of this whole construct. Aizawa was like, what do you mean a mini tornado? Izuku goes, well, I wrapped my telekinesis around it and crushed it so much so that it actually cracked, and then I started to spin it. And as it spun out of my hand, I destroyed each and every part of the cube. Aizawa was like, honestly kid, just even listening to you tires me out. Like, you're shockingly powerful. I don't give a damn what they say. You should not be in school. You should be a pro hero. Everyone should be knowing your name. Everyone should be fearing your name. He's like, thank you sensei, but, and he goes, no buts. You already know the entire UA curriculum. You already know everything to need to know. Hell, you're the prodigy of everything I've expected. No, like, I don't expect much from anyone. And Izuku's like smiles and he goes, I don't expect anything from that clown All Might. And Izuku's like, yeah, speaking of All Might, has something happened to him? And Aizawa's like, eyes raised, and he goes, huh? And Izuku goes, yeah, well, I've noticed All Might, you know, over the years, and since like a couple of years ago, it looks like All Might's just slowed down. He's gotten weaker. Every time I see him throw a punch, there's none of that infinite, you know? It's as if every single year I watch him, he's just gone weaker and weaker. Aizawa looked at Izuku and he's quite impressed at Izuku's detective work. At the same time, Izuku's starting to already know without seeing All Might that All Might's weaker. He's like, I see. Well, you may not be off, kid. You gotta understand, All Might is in his 40s now. He's out of his prime. Izuku, I thought that was the case, but no, that's not the case in my mind. I was able to deduce really that no, All Might shouldn't be this weak at all. Even if he's going through a midlife crisis, or even if it doesn't work out, his quirk is so powerful that, well, you gotta be stupid if you don't understand there's something wrong with All Might. And Aizawa smiles, headache child. Honestly, do not ask me. All I can tell you is he's gonna be a teacher at UA, and that's it. And to satisfy your hunch, yes, All Might's getting weaker. Izuku snaps his hand. I knew it. And as he's about to turn to Aizawa's eyes turn red. But do not ask me, okay? It's not your business. Izuku's still fighting, even though Aizawa was trying to erase his quirk. Izuku smiles. Oh, alright, sensei. Sorry. Aizawa's like, anyway, kid, you did really amazing, and thank you for energizing me for today. I appreciate it. But next time, if you want my help, just tell me. Izuku goes, yeah, well, where's the fun out of that, sensei? And Aizawa's like, huh, yeah, you're right. Well, I'm off back to UA. Anything else before I go? No, not at all. Not at all. I'll see you when I get back to school. And then, yeah, well, see you, kid. Aizawa leaves again. Izuku smiles, looking at the beach. And what goes down is for the next week or so, Izuku just comes back looking at the beach, enjoying his summer hot break, everything like that. But what goes down is one day, but a week before the entrance exam, or a week before UA itself, Izuku didn't go back to the school that he was with Momo then, because he kind of gave up on the school, gave up on trying to, talk to Momo or Shoto Todoroki. Until one fateful day, a month before UA starts, Izuku's at Deku Beach sitting down, meditating. As he's meditating, sitting on top of, what seems to be nothing, what goes down is Izuku's trying to just press out his, extend his mind, extend his range of his feeling, how far can he do things, what can he do? And then as Izuku's doing this, he feels this malice, this hatred, this anger. He feels it. He's like, what the? He opens his eyes and turns around and goes, there's no one there. There's no one there at all. What's going on? Izuku begins to stand up, and as he's walking along, he walks up Deku Beach, walking around until he sees something. He sees that pretty girl that he's always tried to talk to that just kind of snobbed him. What ends up going down, he sees that she's walking there, and he feels a lot of distress from her. But Izuku's pretty far, okay? The only reason why he can see is because he's a genius and he understands all of Momo's proportions. Little pun there, guys. But anyway, as Izuku's looking at Momo from a distance, he sees that Momo's not alone, and he can see the reason why she's distressed. The moment Izuku sees Momo not alone, he turns away, he's like, okay then, I don't want to interrupt her, until he stops and he goes, there's that malicious intent again. A car zooms by, a black van zooms by, and the door opens. 4 men jump out of the car. Without even hesitating, they surround Momo, and they grab her, And Momo's like, get away from me. No, leave me, I don't. And what happens is, as Izuku turns around and sees this, these men already have Momo in the car, and they drive away with her. Izuku's like, what the? And he turns, and the ground cracks around Izuku. Green aura appears around Izuku, and Izuku speed blots A. And as the car's driving up, Momo's screaming to be let go, and they were going to tie Momo up, you know. But what goes down is, as the driver thinks they got away, the van stops driving. It stops moving entirely. The driver's like, what the? Why aren't we going? What's going on? They're all panicking, you know. And Momo's like looking around, and what goes down is the binds that are around Momo break apart immediately. The guys that had Momo try to tie Momo up, they slam onto the walls. Momo looks up, she has tears on her eyes when he sees the guys getting slammed and pinned, the ropes that were tied around her or tying around all of them, and then the van starts to rip apart entirely. The entire van rips into pieces, and those metal pieces start to wrap around all the men now entirely, all 4 of them, even the getaway driver. And so that's 5 people altogether. Sorry, no, 4 people altogether, my bad. Sorry, I miscounted Dr. Kahu, man. And so as Izuku restrains all the men with the metal car, he has Momo floating in midair. And Izuku's floating there, and Momo looks at him, she's like, she's crying, like she has so much tears going on, like she's gonna get kidnapped, they're gonna do bad things to her, they're going through her mind. But as she sees Izuku floating there like a god, you know, Izuku's just looking down at them, so angry. He has a vein over his head, everything around him starting to shake, the trees, the wind. It's like a massive vortex of pressure blasting off Izuku. And Izuku goes to them, are you alright, Momo? Momo looks at Izuku, and Izuku goes, oh, I apologize, I mean Yayorozu, are you okay? And she looks at Izuku and she's just shocked. And Izuku feels from her this weird feeling of nervousness, sadness, and just straight gratefulness, you know. He feels all these emotions go through her, like. And as Izuku goes down to her and he releases her, she immediately goes to hug Izuku. And Izuku's like, it's okay, you know, Momo. Sorry, Yayorozu. And she goes, it's okay, you can call me Momo. I'm sorry. And Izuku just feels Momo hug him. And at first he blushes at the same time, but what happens, he's really irritated because he felt what these guys in their minds and what they're feeling, their malicious intent. He knew what they were going to do, and this made Izuku so really aggro. He looks at the 4 men with such bad killing intent, like it made them all knock out. They were so afraid for their lives when Izuku just gave them the death stare. And as they blacked out, Izuku goes, it's okay, you can calm down now, Momo. Don't worry, I'm here. And she goes, and she wipes her tears and she goes, I'm so sorry. Thank you, and she has nothing to say to Izuku. It's alright. Okay, just don't worry. And as Izuku begins to grab the, uses telekinesis to take them in, he goes, I'll take you home and I'll take these men to the police station, okay? And she's like, won't you get in trouble for using your quirk? And Izuku goes, I don't give a damn. They can try to criticize me upon what is right and what's wrong. I'll just tell them the whole Hero Association is what's wrong. I'll tell them then what they're doing is wrong. That I can't use my quirk to defend someone that was about to get the worst thing possible happen to a girl. And Momo feels the fire and the passion in front of Izuku, and the area starting to shake even more. No, I'm gonna take these men to the cops, and I'm gonna tell them how to do their damn job. Momo just feels this assurity from Izuku, and Izuku just feels this release from Momo, you know, just this weight off her shoulders. And Izuku goes, let me take you home. I'm guessing you stay at the Yayorozu estate, right? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, must be cool being very wealthy like your family. At the same time, I'm very grateful for the life I've been given. And Izuku goes, come, take my hand. Momo blushes and takes Izuku's hand. This is the first time she fully got to talk to Izuku, and in her mindscape, she always thought that Izuku was, you know, full of himself, you know, super intelligent, super powerful, thinking he was the best. But no, she got it all wrong. Izuku just doesn't care. The things that annoy him are the things that make the world wrong in the first place. And so Momo just can't believe how cool Izuku is. And when Izuku takes his hand and tells Momo to hug him, so he can take and fly with her, she hugs Izuku and she feels his rock hard body. Bear in mind, Izuku's trained for years, okay? And his tactile telekinesis, his physical telekinesis, does not allow his body to be weak at all at the same time. So he has a sculpted body like the gods created it, okay? So as Izuku flies Momo back, he's got the other 4 guys floating in his hand. And Momo goes, doesn't this affect the quirk? And Izuku goes, well, to be honest, the only drawbacks I have on my quirk are kind of my own self, you know. I drive myself crazy if I don't mentally challenge myself or just use my quirk in any form of way. And this is why I fly and why I have a special pass to allow me to use my quirk in a certain way, because if I don't, then as you felt those earthquakes or mini shakings that I do get when I become passionate about things, Momo. Well, imagine that, but 100 times worse. That's my side effect. Momo's shocked to hear that. She's shocked that Izuku's side effect is that dangerous. She's like, oh, I see. Izuku goes, oh, before I go, do you got any injuries? And Izuku, as Izuku lands her down, holding the 4 men up in the sky, and Momo goes, yeah, I've got some rope burns, but don't worry, I can. Izuku grabs her hand and uses his ability to rub his hand across her right arm. It makes Momo's face turn like a tomato red, you know. And Izuku can feel this emotion she feels, and he feels kind of the same as he heals her arm. He goes, there, is that better? And she goes, wow, your quirk's so amazing, so useful. And Izuku goes, well, yeah, but your quirk is amazing too. Izuku explains, I've been meaning to talk to you about this for the last few years, but I realized that I either annoyed you or you didn't like me, so I kind of stayed away from you guys. And when I made an attempt to talk to you, you outright pushed me away, so I just thought it was something I did. Momo shakes his head and he goes, no, I was full of myself. I thought you were snobby, stuck up, you know, because you were smarter than me, your power was more powerful than anyone, and you just thought of yourself that you were the best at everything. And Izuku kind of like puts his head to the side, and he goes, oh, that's why you didn't want to talk to me. Then I understand your feeling. I apologize, but I've been like this since I was 5 years old, technically. And it's a part of my quirk, I must say. But you're smart too. Your quirk allows you to do so much cool things. I can't imagine the cool things that I can see you doing with your quirk, right? Izuku holds these guys. Look, I can restructure materials by my force of telekinesis, and these guys are all bound up on it, as you can see. But what you can do is create things out of your body. That's amazing. You got such a cool quirk, versatile, powerful, with your beautiful looks. You're one stacked hero, Momo. Momo is so blushing. She's like shivering with so much excitement that her boy Izuku acknowledged her like that, even though she didn't like him. She did like him, but didn't like him due to the fact that, well, he was better than her. But now that Izuku put her at ease, putting out the fact that she's amazing, she's beautiful, which she took absolutely notice of, and Izuku goes, but alas, I have to go. Mom will be worried about me. And not only that, I need to take these 4 idiots to the cops, as I told you. So if you want, I'll see you at UA. And not only that, I was given the chance to do recommendation, but I do not want to take it. I'm not going to do recommendation only just due to the fact that I didn't get things handed to me. I worked my butt off to get my quirk, my abilities to where I am, just for it to be put down to doing an entrance exam and so I'm going to do the entrance exams. Momo looks at Izuku. Well, I'll see you in UA then. I got recommendation. Izuku smiles. Well, of course you did. Your quirk's amazing, and I told you. But one thing I'd like to ask you though, can I get your phone number though, Momo Yaoyorozu? I would like to meet up with you again. And Momo blushes again, and she goes, yeah. And she gives Izuku her number, and Izuku gives him her number. Sorry, Izuku gives his number to her, and she gives his number to him. And as they exchange, Izuku gives Momo a hug and tells her, well, I'll see you in a month's time. Izuku walks away and he begins to fly, and Momo thanks Izuku. As Izuku flies away with the 4 men, he takes them into the police station. The police are about to scold Izuku until Izuku shows him his UA pass for allowing him to use his quirk. They scan the card and they see the details and they, oh, I see. Alright, young man. Well, explain everything. Izuku explained everything and to a T. He even wrote down and drew the entire situation. So not only did he say everything he said, but he wrote down a report for the police officers and a description of all 4 men and the woman that was attacked, the young lady. When the cops see this, they're like, thank you, young man. We really appreciate it, and I apologize for being harsh on you for using your quirk. You did our job very well. Thank you so much, young man. Izuku said, not to worry. And Principal Nizu figured that this would be the case, and I apologize again for using my quirk. Izuku walks away, and the cops thank Izuku Midoriya. Now Izuku goes home, he tells his mom about everything, and this is when he begins to talk to Momo for the next month. And so I'm just going to time skip until the entrance of the UA entrance exam, okay? Izuku is talking to Momo on the phone. Bear in mind they've been talking every day for a month, and Izuku presses to Momo that he don't care, okay? He's forward, He's got no time to waste, and he told Momo that he would like to go on a date with her and take her out, And Momo was just dumbfounded. She couldn't believe that, well, 1, Izuku was so forward, 2, wants to take her on a date, and 3, hell yeah! She screams out over her phone, even though they're texting, and she screams, yes please. And Izuku, good, I'm taking you out. And so, Izuku states, after the UA entrance exam, I'll take you out to a place, okay? I asked Principal Nizu if I can, and she goes, oh yeah, by the way, before, what's it with you and Principal Nizu? Izuku explains, I'll tell you later, okay? But he's my main backer, let's just state that. Anyway, what goes down is, as Izuku finishes the text, he's walking into the school. And as he's walking, he realizes that there's a block on the ground that's not properly, He uses his telekinesis to flatten out the ground properly again, and begins to walk into the school. As he's walking in, he closes the door behind him. This is when a blonde Pomeranian, blonde haired guy walks into the school, That's Katsuki Bakugo. And as he's walking, he bumps into Ochako Uraraka because he's just Bakugo. As he bumps into, he goes, "Get the hell out of my way, round face, you damn extra!" And what happens is Uraraka's shocked and really nervous immediately. Bakugo's aggro and walks into the atrium, and as he gets in there, he looks around and he notices a boy with green hair. He's like, that person looks familiar. And he goes, probably just another extra like everyone else. President Mike goes to speak just like he can, and Ida Tenya still interrupts him. But because Izuku has a close relationship with every single teacher, he doesn't like any of them talking down to the teachers. So Izuku stands up, turns to the boy with glasses and goes, "For your information, 1, shut up. 2, you interrupted him. And 3, there is another robot which is going to explain." Izuku turns around and sits down. Ida's shocked. When Bakugo saw this kid, he goes, "No way. That's not Izuku Midoriya, is it?" And Bakugo's starting to shake in anger and fear, because you remember this is the kid that broke his arms, pretty much badly hurt him and his friends. And so Bakugo keeps that mentality in his mind. Now, when they do the test, Izuku finishes it in 5 minutes. It's not even a test, it's nothing. Even Nizu gave him harder test, but it's nothing. As Izuku finishes, he stands up, he walks to President Mike and goes, "Sir, finish." And he goes, "Oh, I expected that. Nizu told me just to tell you to wait at the city." And Izuku goes, "Thank you for that. I'll see them all there." President Mike nods at Izuku, and Izuku walks away. Bakugo, Ida, and everyone that sees Izuku do that, they're like, "What the hell?" And Bakugo just grits his teeth how aggro he is. What ends up going down is Izuku's waiting at the test site, and when he waits there, everyone starts to get there slowly but surely. And Izuku's starting to sense where they are emotionally, and he senses Ochako Uraraka's nervousness. As he walks over, Tenya Ida is about to interrupt Izuku, but Izuku just looks at him and goes, "It's fine. Don't come next to me." Ida's like, "But you're going to," and Izuku goes, "And what are you going to do? Interrupt me, right? I'm trying to do something good for someone else. What the hell are you doing?" Ida just stops and looks at Izuku. Izuku has a vein on his head, and he goes, "Get the hell out of my way." And Izuku walks to Ochako, and he goes, "Are you alright?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm just a little," he goes, "I can sense you're a little bit nervous. Don't worry, you're gonna do amazing, okay? May I ask what kind of quirk do you have?" And she goes, "Oh, I can touch things and remove their gravity. But it's not really effective though, because it makes me really sick, and Izuku goes, Does a sickness appear?" And bear in mind, Izuku has a book out and he's writing it down, which shocks Ochako, and she didn't even see the book come out of nowhere, and he goes, "So your quirk, so it makes you sick when you make things absolutely weightless?" And she goes, "Yeah, and I can't hold it for long." And Izuku goes, "How about this? Why don't you try making things almost weightless?" And she goes, "Almost? Well, why don't you make something with at least 1 kg? And she goes, and Izuku goes, "You can lift up 1 kilogram, right?" And she goes, "Yeah. Well, imagine making someone 1 kilogram and then throwing them over. It may avert your notion of being sick, right?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I get you." And he goes, "Yeah, well, there you go." And Izuku goes, and as Izuku notices the door open, he immediately flies off, causing a gust of wind. Everyone's like, "What the? Hey, he's cheating! And President Mike goes, "There's no countdowns on a real battle. Go, go, go!" Everyone rushes off, and when they get there, all the robots, every single robot they get across, is all destroyed. Izuku's on top of a building, just looking around. He's waving his hand over the entire building area, annihilating every single robot. As he destroys all the robots, he repairs all the damages the robots are causing in the area, and Izuku powers up all the robots in the middle of the air. He's destroying them and making them all float towards him. And what goes down, Izuku does it for the next 5 minutes until he hears over the intercom, "Izuku Midoriya." And Izuku's like, "Oh, damn. I was hoping to finish this off. He looks at one of the cameras and he goes, "You're finished. You can leave now." Izuku's like, "Ah, really? But I was having so much fun." And then what happens is Aizawa goes, "Oh, second thought, no. You can stand there. You can actually stay there and help the students if any of them get injured. Do you hear me?" And Izuku's like, "Okay then. I thought I got told to leave." But and he goes, Aizawa can see Izuku and can read Izuku's lips. And he's like, "Stop complaining. They're headache, child." And Izuku's like, "Alright, sensei." And Izuku just sits down and he just uses his quirk to sense around, making sure everyone's okay. Bear in mind, Izuku easily got 500 points. I'm just gonna say Izuku got 500 points because he destroyed every single robot in the area. Power Loader had to release new robots, you know? And so what goes down is Izuku, as he's watching, he's seeing people that can't, who barely can handle robots. And he starts to use his quirk to help them out, you know? Stopping a robot in place while they damaged him. Aizawa sees this and he makes sure that all the kids that got helped by Izuku with this method are not going to be in his class. And so as Izuku's watching this, he's like, this is pretty interesting. And as he's walking around, this is when he notices the 0 pointer and he's like, "Well, I was wondering when they're going to bring this out. I was wondering if Power Loader will ever let me destroy it. Knowing him, he'll be very upset if I destroy it. I better not." And then Izuku sees Ochaka Uraraka underneath the rubble. Izuku's like, "But I can save her." He uses telekinesis and he lifts up the entire 0 pointer in the air. And Power Loader's like, please don't destroy it. Please, it's one of my favorite robots, young Midoriya." He's just saying that and Izuku's like, "I would destroy you, but it'll break Power Loader's heart." Izuku waves his hand and the rubble over Ochako disappears. And she's like, "Huh?" And then the green aura appears over Ochako and she gets pulled towards Tenya Ida and all them. And Izuku nicely and slowly but surely places the 0 pointer back down again. And Izuku flicks the switch off in the 0 pointer's head so it deactivates. And Power Loader's like, "Oh, thank you, young man. I appreciate that." And what goes down, Izuku lands and he goes, "Are you okay?" And Izuku looks at everyone that has injuries, come to me. I can use my quirk to heal you guys. But it's better if I make physical contact, okay? And Izuku walks over to Ochako and heals her leg. And he proceeds to heal every single person in the city that they're in. And this is when the whole story was, everything was called to a quits, everything like that. What goes down is Recovery Girl comes through with Izuku's mum, of course, because Enko is her main worker. And as Izuku goes, "Oh, hey Recovery Girl, I've healed everyone. Everyone's fine. If you didn't hear, Principal Nezu," he goes, "Yes, I did, young man. And I come to give you a jelly bean, or candy bar, or whatever." Izuku goes, "Thank you for that, a gummy bear." And Izuku stays there, he goes, "Hey mom," and she smiles looking at her son so proudly. She goes to ruffle his hair and she goes, "You did really well, my son." And Izuku goes, thank you for that." And Izuku goes, "Well, I'll see you guys later." What goes down, Izuku goes off and goes, "Oh, by the way mom, I got a date tonight." And this makes everyone around, even everyone that's around, even Ochako blush kind of jealously. And what goes down is Recovery Girl goes, 15 and already got a date. Your child is something else there, Inko. And Inko smiles. "Oh, you have a date? And is that with that?" "Yes, it's Mama Yaoyorozu. Yes, it's the date with her." And she goes, "Oh," she's so excited. "Are you going to make it official now?" And Izuku goes, "That's my plan. You know I don't like wasting time. That's my plan." And she goes, and she looks at Izuku with a serious look. "None of that, unless you make it, none of that stuff that you planning on doing with her, unless you make it official. Do you hear me, Izuku?" Izuku, feeling his mum's real intention, he's like, "Ooh." A sweat goes down the side of his head because, one, he loves his mum, and even though he's powerful as a god, he will never use his power against his mum, and so he'll take the beating. He's like, I will treat you like a lady, mom. No, don't you worry, okay?" And she goes, "Good." Izuku smiles and flies away, like really, really nervously. And this is when he meets up with Momo. And Izuku takes her out on a date, and he pretty much gives her the time of her life, you know. Bear in mind, Izuku does have money, but Momo has way more. Her dad can create any mineral, you know. Do you know how useful that is? Platinum, gold, silver, uranium. Yeah, Momo's dad's stacked. But anyway, Izuku flies down to Momo's house and picks her up, and he flies her and takes her wherever they want. The Yaoyorozu's already found out that both Izuku not only saved their daughter, but also has helped her with their confidence the last month and a half, or the last month of before her starting UA, you know. And so as Izuku goes out with Momo, he takes her out to the best places. He flies her all over in the air, which makes Momo scared and happy. And before Izuku goes off, he told Momo very clearly to her that he wants her to be his and his alone, and nothing matters besides his mother and, you know, becoming the hero more than Momo. Momo is shocked that Izuku's confessing his feelings towards her, even though this is their first date, but Izuku exclaimed that he has liked her or had a love for her the moment he laid his eyes upon her. And his quirk is just amazing. You know, the possibilities of my mind and your quirk and my quirk. Momo blushes and Izuku goes, "So what do you say, Momo Yaoyorozu? Do you want to be my girlfriend?" Momo is shocked. Her face turns mega red and she agrees, and she jumps in to give Izuku a kiss, which makes Izuku shocked, makes his face mega red, and they both float up in the sky. And as this goes down, Izuku is happy, and so for the next week or 2 weeks, Izuku spends time training with Momo, making it official with both Izuku's mother and Momo's parents. They all agree, you know. Momo's dad just wanted to see how powerful Izuku is and if Izuku can protect his daughter. Izuku goes, and he snaps his finger, and snapping his finger, all of the Yaoyorozu, all the cards that exist on their property, all the people will float in midair, and Izuku goes, "As long as I'm around, no one will dare want to touch my Momo." And the dad smiled, and he was so perked up and proud, and looking at his new son-in-law, and he goes, "Welcome to the family, young Midoriya, Izuku Midoriya." Izuku smiles. He tells Momo he intends to marry her either before Yue finishes or after. Either way, she is going to be his and his alone. And Momo smiles, and she's so giddy about this. But what goes down is Izuku gets his acceptance letter by way of Principal Nezu. Nezu walks to Izuku's house, and bear in mind Izuku's house just off campus, just around, you know, in one of the best looking houses. And he goes, "Well, young man, as I told you, you didn't need to do the entrance exams. You actually broke All Might's record by a gigantic amount, and well, you made it into 1A." Izuku thanks Principal Nezu, but this is when Nezu goes, "This is where the issue arises now, young man." Izuku looks at Principal Nezu, understanding what Principal Nezu is going to say. Katsuki Bakugo and Izuku has a vein straight on its head and annoys him, and the whole building that Izuku lives in starts to shake. And this is when Nezu goes, "You still haven't got that under control, haven't you?" And Nezu goes, "As much as I would like to say yes, I don't. Just thinking of Katsuki Bakugo annoys the hell out of me. My quirk was manifested thanks to his bulliness, him bullying other kids, and if you guys want to roast me, do so, it's funny as hell." But Izuku goes, "Because he wants to bully other children." And just want to say another thing, guys, if you guys want to know what kind of what is going to be coming out, listen to the end of the video and you'll possibly hear, okay? Just letting you guys know. But anyway, what goes down is, as Izuku explains that what makes Bakugo so angry and why is it tethered to Izuku, Nezu just exclaims to Izuku that, "Just for now, young man, you're just going to have to suck it up. Not all heroes, you know, like each other. Look at Endeavor. He hates All Might so much, but he's trying to strive to be better than All Might." And Izuku goes, "Oh, I noticed that. But that guy has nothing to even try to think he can become a hero like All Might. Look at all the fatalities and all the bad things, the collateral damage that guy goes through. His ego, you know, he's tantamount to becoming a villain himself." Izuku states about Endeavor, but he goes, "Huh." But anyway, looks at Nezu, and Nezu smiles, and he goes, "But anyway, young man, you have made it into 1A, and I'm just gonna have to tell you, but Katsuki Bakugo is in 1A as well. So please, 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 don't kill him." And Izuku smiles. He goes, "I'll never take it that far." And Nezu goes, "You've been living with me since you've been young. You're living with Yue since you've been young. The same tendency to say Katsuki Bakugo." And Izuku starts to make everything tremble. "Yep. That's why I'm telling you not to kill him, okay?" Izuku's like, "Oh, I see. Alright, I'm sorry. I'll make sure." And he puts his head down. Nezu taps Izuku's head. "Oh, well, young man, I'm gonna be going." He looks back at Izuku. "I'm so grateful I put all my hopes and dreams into you, young man. You're incredible. You know that? The best investment I've ever done besides investing in school." Nezu leaves the room, closes the door, and Izuku has his biggest smile of his life. Whenever he hears Katsuki Bakugo in his mind now, it just slowly but surely doesn't faze him. And so we're going to make a time skip to Yue. Izuku's a first kid in class, okay? The first kid. And why I say that is Izuku never gets tired. And if he ever tired, he'll only need to sleep for like 4 hours. You know, so at max. So Izuku's never tired. Once he got in the class, he saw Aizawa sleeping in a sleeping bag, and he goes, Aizawa sensei must have worked late last night. Izuku waved his hand over Aizawa's sleeping bag, giving Aizawa energy and vitality. Aizawa sits right up and he goes, "I barely slept. I Ah, headache. Why did you do that? I was getting a rest. And Izuku goes, you're never going to get a proper rest like that. Stop lying to yourself. And he goes, fair enough. Aizawa gets up, puts his sleeping bag away, and he goes, I feel refreshed though. And Izuku goes, well, you'll never need to use your sleeping bag while I'm around, Sensei. I'll make sure of that. Aizawa looks at Izuku and he smiles, thank you, kid. And Izuku goes, and he goes, so you're the first one here? And he goes, oh, always. And he goes, all good. And as Izuku sits down, Nomu walks in and runs straight to Izuku. He jumps on him and gives him a hug. And Aizawa looks at this and he goes, oh, so this is the girlfriend you were excited to tell me about. Izuku looks at Aizawa and goes, Nomu Yaoyorozu, this is, Shoto Aizawa, our homeroom teacher. Izuku looks like quietly looking at Aizawa, and Aizawa smiles and goes, to you idiot, Aizawa Sensei. And he's like, yes, sorry Sensei. But yes, I'm Shoto Aizawa. Nice to meet you, Nomu Yaoyorozu. I see that Izuku has wrapped you up in his crazy life. It seems. Momo smiles, understanding that it's just a funny. She's not stupid. And she goes, yeah, I really like Izuku. He's really helped me out a lot. And he goes, yeah, I feel sorry for anyone that hurts you though. I really do. Aizawa looks back at Izuku, and Izuku just can't take his eyes off Momo. Now, everyone starts to come into class, Shoji, all of them, until Bakugo comes in. When Izuku sees him, Aizawa's eyes turn straight to Bakugo as well. And as Izuku looks at Bakugo, Bakugo sees Izuku, the room starts to vibrate violently, Nezu senses this and he goes, there's one. I hope he's okay. Aizawa goes, headache, what are you doing? Izuku calms down. Oh, nothing, Sensei. And he goes, Aizawa looks and goes, oh, it's the kid. Take your seat, young man. Welcome to the class. Bakugo looks at Aizawa and kind of scoffs, like, who's this guy? And he walks over to Izuku and goes, Deku! Izuku instantly uses telekinesis and smacks Bakugo in the air and instantly binds him into the wall. And Aizawa sees this, and Aizawa didn't expect to get a reaction out of Izuku like this. All the desk in the room starts to float. Izuku's starting to shake the whole building now. He walks over to Bakugo. I will tell you this once and once only. Bakugo, shocked, he can't even move. You call me Deku again, I'll make you punch yourself out until the point where you're not going to be able to use your arms. Aizawa hears this like, what the? Do you hear me? So I'm going to be making you punch your face non-stop until you break your arms. Do you understand me? Katsuki, Bakugo. Never. And the room starts to shake even more violently. His green aura turns to dark green. Call me Deku. Bakugo is in absolute fear. As Momo grabs Izuku's hand, she's like, Zuzu. Izuku looks back at her and he says, calm down. Izuku walks back with her. He waves his hand. The desk puts themselves back into place. Bakugo, he gets put down to the ground. He's starting to sweat, starting to shake. He's like, who let you? And Aizawa puts his hand on Bakugo. Calm down. I will reprimand him after this class, but you must understand, giving people names is not a good thing. If you're lucky, you just got that reaction out of him. Bakugo gives Aizawa a kind of death stare until Bakugo looks into Aizawa's red glowing eyes, and he shuts his mouth. He goes to sit down, sitting on the opposite side from Izuku, and he's just shaking in fear and anger. Absolute fear and anger. Bakugo has his head down on the desk, the shaking, He's just in absolute fear now. It's just engulfed him. Izuku has so much anger that Aizawa can see. The aura around Izuku did not disappear. The only place where it's not affecting is Momo. And Aizawa looks at it and Bakugo and goes, you're lucky this girl was here. You're lucky he has a tether to this world. You will be the reason he turns into a villain. Aizawa says in his mind, what's Nezu up to? This is not good. And so what goes down is everyone starts to come into class and they all start to see themselves. Tenya Ida doesn't even say nothing to Bakugo because Bakugo is too afraid to do anything right now. But what goes down is all the interactions, everyone the same goes relative. And this is when Aizawa finally gets up. He goes, alright, since everyone's in class, it's time for the 1A students, 1A class to begin. I'm Shoto Aizawa. Now put these uniform on and let's go out to an area. Now Uraraka says the same thing with the orientation, but Aizawa's like, to hell with that, my class, my rules. Put them on, hurry up. As Izuku goes to put on his uniform, Bakugo can't take his eyes off Izuku, but sweat keeps dripping down his head. It scares him. It just scares him. Izuku he just can't believe that UA has Izuku here, and he's just staring at him like, how strong is Izuku's quirk? Like, what did I do to make him so angry? Like, Bakugo's just shocked, you know, like, what can I do? Like, I don't want to be scared all the time. He can't even shake the scared feeling that Izuku is so much more powerful. His quirk does not work. And if he was to remember it, I'm the one with the red eyes is Eraserhead, meaning he tried to erase Izuku's quirk while he was pinned and nothing happened, meaning Izuku is so much more powerful than Bakugo is, and he's really scared. Izuku just looks at Bakugo and goes, Katsuki, stop looking at me. You're really annoying me. And two, if you don't want me to, if you don't want that feeling that you have, that's overwhelming you right now, that fear you have, Katsuki, get over yourself. Bakugo looks at Izuku, and Izuku looks right at him. Yes, my quirk allows me to sense your feelings, so I can sense that you're absolutely afraid of me. You're terrified, in fact. Now you understand what it's like to be on the receiving end of a bully. Bakugo is just shocked and he's shaking. All the boys in the changing room notice this, and Izuku goes, well, I'm out. Kirishima was going to talk about Izuku's ripped up, super tense, buff, sexy looking body, manly ass, but he couldn't. He just sees Bakugo's fear and it's like, whoa, what happened between these two? Izuku's the first one to get to Aizawa, and he sits down and goes, so Aizawa sensei, do I have to partake in this? Aizawa goes, the students in this class need to see the big difference between you and them. Izuku's like, even though this whole school system is not rational, I agree, okay. Aizawa goes, you sound as cynical as me, kid, I like it. Izuku finds it funny. And so everyone starts to slowly but surely appear, and Aizawa begins to explain everything. He goes, so you guys all did the fitness exam at school, right? Without your quirks, well, today you're going to be using your quirk. And just for argument's sake, Midoriya, you're going to be going first, and you're going to be doing all the tests in front of everyone to put your score into the perspective of everyone else. And no, do not hold back. Headache. Izuku looks at him and goes, I won't, I never do. And he goes, yes you do, you always do. And Izuku looks at Aizawa and he goes, alright. And as Izuku he grabs the ball and he goes, should I do this last? And he goes, alright then, whatever, young man. So Izuku leaves the ball in the circle, floating. He goes to the 50 meter run. He instantaneously blitzes it and appears on the other side at 0.01 seconds. Izuku does the standing long jump. Izuku just floats in midair and floats on the other side and lands. And so Aizawa just pretty much states infinity because he can just fly non-stop. It's pretty stupid. Izuku does the grip test. He destroys the grip test entirely. He makes sure that it only goes to 999 and maxes out. Izuku does the head to toe touch, and he wins that by pretty much breaking himself into two. The side steps, he wins that. Even all the other stuff, he wins it entirely. Now when it comes to the ball throw, Izuku holds the ball. And when I mean holds the ball, and why I mean win that, you'll see soon. Izuku holds the ball, and Aizawa goes, alright young man, put all your power into that ball and throw it as far as you can. Izuku's like, alright. As the ball's starting to grow light green, he's about to cock his arm back, but Aizawa goes, headache child, all your power. Don't make me tell your mother. Izuku's like, the light green turns to a dark green, and the dark green starts to have a massive power of force around it. And Aizawa goes, it's always best to use his mother like that. He smiles. Izuku goes, alright then. You want to see it? Izuku waves his hand and the ball rockets. And when I mean rocket, it makes 3 sonic booms before it even gets past Izuku's arm, you know? That's how much force it happened. Everyone that was around Izuku besides Aizawa and Momo, and Izuku decided to shield as much people as he can, but everyone that was around got hit by the shockwave so bad that Aizawa was like, alright, next time I'm not going to tell that kid to do that again. The ball leaves the planet's atmosphere and he gets infinity. And this is when Aizawa turns around and states that here's the mountain that you guys are going to climb. Izuku has destroyed All Might's record. In fact, I believe he's more powerful than All Might all entirely. And they all look at Izuku, and then Aizawa goes, so this is your guys' test. See where you guys go. Now everyone does relevant, okay? Everyone does relevant like in canon. This time though, Mina doesn't say this is exciting, no. Because Izuku using his quirk the way he did, he kind of put everyone into perspective. Gobsmack, you know? And so what goes down is Izuku Midoriya, Momo Yaoyorozu, Shoto Todoroki, and Katsuki Bakugo. That's the order in which everyone goes. And what goes down is Bakugo, he's just fallen inward himself. He's scared. Izuku scared him. And what Izuku said into the changing room scared him even more. And so what goes down is the next day goes by, Izuku hangs out on Momo, they come back to the school. And this is when Izuku for the first time gets to meet All Might, despite him pretty much living at UA pretty much. As he meets All Might, Izuku still gets the same excitement, and he goes through the same situation that, you know, he's still a fanboy. He draws out All Might, writes out everything. He's got notes for everyone's quirks, all their pros and all their cons. Aizawa sees this and it makes him smile and goes, that kid doesn't realize, but his notes are going to help me teach these students how to become better. And so what goes down is the heroes versus villains test comes down. All Might's heard of Izuku, but he didn't quite believe it, you know. And so when they get their costumes, Izuku's going to have like a really cool costume. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be, let's just say, if I was to make Izuku's costume to look like anyone's cool, I like Cloud from Final Fantasy. So if you know who Cloud is, I made his clothes much similar to him, okay? Because I like Cloud's clothes. And so as Izuku puts his clothes on, he meets up with Momo. He grabs her, and they both going to fly. Izuku kisses her on the cheek and tells him that he can't wait to spend the weekend with her, and she can't wait to as well. And as everyone notices that, Mina's like, oh my gosh, there's already a boyfriend girlfriend in this class. What? They all look at each other like, wow. Mina's like so giddy. I want to know everything. And so what goes down is when they get to meeting to the area where All Might states, it's heroes versus villains. And what goes down is All Might was told by Nezu to not put Izuku with anyone, but All Might goes, it's kind of unfair that he needs to work with someone. So their names get drawn out, and Izuku and there's like Chako like in canon, Katsuki, Bakugo, and Ida as villains. But the moment All Might states that, Bakugo has fear go down, a sweat go down. All Might notices that, and he goes, what's the matter, young Bakugo? And Izuku senses it, and he goes, All Might, it's because he's scared of me. That's why he's afraid of me. Our interactions since we were kids have disappeared, but he's been scared of me since the day my quirk activated, and he's scared of me now. That's why. All Might sees the visible fear out of Bakugo. And Bakugo just wants to scream. He wants to yell out to the world, damn you! I'm the best, not this nerd. And Bakugo just has a tear go down the side of his head. All Might goes, oh very well, then Katsuki Bakugo, I'll swap you out. What ends up going down is Shoto Todoroki is swapped with Bakugo. So Bakugo takes on, and Choji takes on Tails and Hogakure, you know? And so that still goes down. Everyone has their turns and they're all relative. But what happens is Izuku looks at Todoroki and he just states, well, he never talked to him once at school. He was a recluse and Izuku can feel it, but he don't care. He's going to destroy him. What goes down, Nomu runs up to Izuku before she leaves and she gives him a kiss on the cheek and tells him good luck. And looks at him, don't hurt him too much, please. And Izuku's like, yeah, I won't. As the thing began, Ochako and Izuku walk in and they begin to talk strategy. Izuku states that he can technically just lift this entire building, rip it all apart and grab the bomb and defeat everyone, but he can tell this test is about teamwork. So they work as a team to and what happens, they get up to the level 3 where the bomb is, because then Izuku's not stupid. As they get there, a massive ice wall appears. Izuku puts a telekinetic barrier and Izuku instantly flicks his finger and it destroys all the ice. And as they walk into the room, what goes down is Izuku holds all the ice over his head, but the ice has a pink and green aura. The pink aura is that all the ice, that even though the ice should weigh like hundreds of kilograms, when they go there, they only weigh like 1 kilogram. So, and Ochako's not even about to spew. This is how beneficial what Ochako told her. Izuku uses his quirk and tells Ochako to release. She releases it. Izuku waves his hand, and all the ice begins to flood Todoroki and Ida. And just before Ida can react, Izuku instantly tripped up Ida, and so ice hit Ida, knocking him onto the ground. Todoroki tried to do an iceberg, but Izuku destroyed the iceberg around Todoroki, and he used the ice and wrapped it around Todoroki, holding him in his place. And then Izuku kind of crushed the ice into Todoroki to keep him there in place. And as Ochako runs up, she runs up and touches the bomb. As she touches the bomb, Todoroki has a brief anger go upon him, goes upon him, and fire spreads out of his arm and head briefly and disappears. Izuku looks at him and he goes, that's a waste of a quirk, especially on you. If you're not going to use your quirk or go serious on me, I'm putting a human being here. Izuku turns away. And so what goes down is, after all the tests and everything, Izuku, they asked who was the MVP, and Momo goes, well, of course, my Izuku is. All Might smiles, he goes, well, this kid's already got a girlfriend and she's pretty good looking as well, good on him. And she just exclaims that Izuku not only devised a plan, but thanks to his quirk, he could have just did it all himself, but instead he worked as a team with Ochako. He used his quirk and her quirk as a tandem ability, and made her, touch the bomb while Izuku was the main distraction. And almost like 100%, nice one, Momo. He tells them he's proud of them and he sends them off on their way. But before Izuku leaves, Izuku is stopped by Nezu and Recovery Girl. Nezu and Recovery Girl look at Izuku and they go, "Hello, young man." And Izuku's like, "Oh, Principal Nezu's, Nezu Sensei." Izuku's so confused because he's always called him Nezu Sensei or Principal Nezu now. He's like, "It's alright, you can still call me Nezu Sensei." Izuku's like, "Oh, what's up anyway?" And he goes, "Well, young man, I would like for you to accompany me, please." Me and Recovery Girl. And Izuku's like, "Oh, sweet as, okay." And as they head to Recovery Girl's office, Enko's there. You know, she's sitting down with and Izuku's like, "Mom, wait a minute, what's wrong? Did I do something wrong? I'm sorry, what happened between me and Principal Nezu goes, "No, what you did to Katsuki Bakugo is probably what you needed to do for a long time. I've seen his reports, and yes, he is a bully. He's been pretty much doing that ever since you left." Izuku's shocked, you know, and it kind of irritates him. And he goes, "I'm still sorry for using my quirk in the way I did." And Shoto Aizawa goes, "Don't worry, kid. You already apologized enough. Just listen to what they have to say." Izuku's like, "Oh, Sensei, I knew you were here, but, you know, had to ignore you." And Aizawa smiles. And he goes, "So what is this, Principal? Sensei?" Oh, and Izuku just rolls his eyes. And All Might walks in. "I am here!" And Izuku's like, "All Might." He's still excited, you know. And he goes, "Well, young man, I heard through the grapevine that you have quite a unique quirk." And Izuku goes, "Yes, I do." And he goes, "Can you tell me about it?" And Izuku goes, "Of course. Besides my telekinesis, which I can control outside my body, I have what's called tactile telekinesis, where I can control things but when I touch things. I can also heal things or, you know, energize things." "Why is that?" And he goes, "Wow, kid, that's amazing." And Izuku goes, "Not only that, my quirk allows for me to have like supreme intelligence. For instance, I look at you. You're not as strong as you were yourself last year. In fact, you've actually gone so weak in the last 6 years. I'm surprised no one has noticed that." All my like coughs out, is like, "Huh, what?" And Aizawa just looks up. Even Recovery Girl, Enko's surprised. "All my weaker," and Izuku goes, "What's it anyway? As I have to do something with the left side of your body. I noticed that you barely hold yourself in that degree." And All Might's just like shocked, you know, like looking at Aizawa and Nezu. And Nezu nods his head. And Nezu goes, "Very accurate, young Midoriya. Yes, by your deduction, All Might can't use his quirk properly because of an injury he has. You can trust him. Toshinori. I trust him. As I told you, I placed all my hopes and faith in this kid. If anyone's going to bring peace and become the next symbol of peace without your quirk, it is Izuku Midoriya." All Might's like, "Oh, I see." And he goes, "But what about?" And he goes, "You can trust the mother. She's been working there." Recovery Girl states. And All Might just looks at her and she just gives him a nod. And he goes, "Oh, okay." He instantly depowers down and goes into a skinning form. And he shows Izuku the injury. Izuku destroys the teacher he removes the teacher that All Might was wearing, and immediately goes through all his journals, all the books that he had, you know, all his medical books, and he goes through and he goes, "I see they did this operation, this, all of All Might's medical records, everything." Principal Nezu smiles. All Might's like, "Whoa." And Izuku's like, All Might, sir, can you lie down on the bed?" And he goes, "Just call me Toshinori." And Izuku's like, "Oh, okay, Toshinori." And he's like, smiles. He goes to lie down on the bed, and Enko's just shocked, you know. But hey, she kind of gets used to it. She's a medical officer in UA now. She works well, and she's been working there for years, so she's quite skilled. As Izuku's going through the books, he's like, "I've noticed that they tried all they can." Izuku waves his hand. "Oh, it is. Your stomach is gone. It's incredible, and your lungs are destroyed." Izuku grabs one of his books. He snaps his finger. And the building window opens, and a book from his home flies into his hand. And All Might's like, "Whoa, where did that?" And Nezu just gives him a shh look. As they're going through, Izuku looks at the book and he's like, I realize, okay then. "Well, I can do a couple of things for you, All Might, for your injury. One, I can reconstruct your stomach. That's something I can do. And I can help fix your lungs." All Might's like, What? And Nezu smiles. He grabs a pot of tea out, you know, or a little drink, you know. Recovery Girl's about to scold him for drinking tea in her office, but he don't care. It's sterilized, you know. And what goes down is Izuku goes, "Yeah, judging by what I see right now, I think I can use your cells and use some of your stem cells to create a new stomach and a new lungs for you. And I can probably perform the operation on you too within the week. All Might looks at Izuku like, wait, what? What? Izuku immediately, he goes, recovery girl, can I? And she grabs all the stuff that Izuku needs. Izuku uses telekinesis, grabs a syringe, grabs a little bit of blood from All Might, grabs some skin follicles, a hair, all that stuff, you know? And what goes down, he goes, I'll see you in a week, All Might Sensei. And All Might's like, what? And Izuku, before he goes, Izuku goes, this will help you for now. Izuku touches All Might's injury and begins to pump some energy into All Might, begin to tactile heal up a little bit, you know, prepare his body. Because even though Izuku can heal people with his telekinesis, he can't grow back organs, you know, he can't do all that stuff. But he could repair some of the damage that All Might has, you know. And so as Izuku heals All Might breathes in, he's like, what the hell? What did you? And Izuku goes, that's only a temporary fix, your body will become worn down again. But for now, your breathing is slightly better, at least. Don't worry. I'm judging by your medical records and the fact that you are my number one hero besides Principal Nezu and Aizawa. And All Might looks at Izuku and probably Recovery Girl as well. But at the same time, yeah, I think I have a plan and I'm going to be busy for the next week as Aizawa Sensei. And it goes, not to worry, problem child. As I told you, you shouldn't be at this damn school in the first place with stupid regulations. That's all. Izuku's like, fair enough. And so what goes down is Izuku, for the next week, he begins to reconstruct using All Might's stem cells and his own telekinetic and tactile telekinesis. He was able to, in a week, regrow All Might's artificial stomach and regrow All Might's lungs. And why I say artificial stomach is because it was not only just All Might's DNA, he had to use some of his Quirk energy to help manipulate it to reform. But what goes down is Izuku is able to do so. And when it comes to the fateful day of All Might beginning his operation, it's the day before the USJ. So you're all going to know that All Might's going to be out of commission. So then you guys all know. All Might lies down and he goes, are you sure about this? And Izuku goes, oh, not to worry. You don't need to worry at all. And it goes down, you're in the safest hands possible, Inko and a Recovery Girl states. And All Might goes, isn't this too much for a kid that wouldn't see all the gore? And Izuku goes, to be honest, All Might, I've been this smart since I was 5 years old. I could understand if you didn't want a 5-year-old operating on you. However, I'm 15 and probably the best surgeon in all the world, probably the best doctor in the world, besides Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl smiles, and what goes down is All Might goes, alright. And so Izuku uses his quirk, and All Might knocks out, goes to sleep, and bear in mind he's in his small might form. And the surgery takes a while because Izuku wants to make sure he uses his quirk a lot, his abilities, you know. And after the surgery, after All Might, the surgery, Izuku uses his quirk to heal All Might, and All Might has a little scar on the side of his body. And what goes down is All Might wakes up the next morning before everyone gets ready for the USJ. He's like, whoa, how did the surgery go? Recovery Girl smiles. There's been no rejection, not yet when it comes to your new artificial stomach and artificial lungs. And he goes, artificial? But I thought he said he grew my organs. He goes, yes, he grew your organs, but why he calls it artificial? Because he used his power as well to help grow them. So they were even more artificially grown. So he just calls them artificial lungs and stomach. And All Might goes, incredible, he can do all this stuff, you know. Do you know what it can tell for the world? And Recovery Girl goes, oh yes, that's what makes him rich, you know. All his medical science, all his books, everything, they sell to the world. Everyone uses them now, you know. It would have been a matter of time, but you got it done firsthand by the kid himself. Almost shocked, you know. He can't believe it that his stomach and his body is being built up. Not only that, almost not in a small might form, which shocked him because he was knocked out. He said he should have been in skinny form. But this is when Recovery Girl stated that Izuku pumped you with a reinforced adrenaline that will keep your body in your buff form while you heal. You need to stay in this form because if you shrink back into your small form, your body will injure yourself and will not help. So I'll be pumping this artificial adrenaline into your body to keep you in this form every single day. I know it's going to be tiring and maddening, All Might, but this is the only way for your stomach and your lungs to fully heal and graft into your body. All Might agrees, and so he stays down and lies down in bed. And this is when he gets to meet Inko and they talk, you know. And what goes down back with Izuku himself, he's with all his class, and what happens is by this time Izuku has become class president. He is the class president, which he does not like. And Momo is the class rep. But Izuku states to them, one, can me and Momo swap? Please, please, please. But Momo's like, nah, you're class pres. And Izuku's like, oh my gosh. And so when Aizawa tells everyone to get ready to go for the USJ, Izuku uses his telekinetic ability to sense the bus out and tells them we don't need to go into orderly fashion. Everyone walk together, all together. Bear in mind that what's it called? The reporters came, the destruction of the gate still happened, all that stuff still came, and Izuku told everyone to pull themselves together. All of that stuff happened, okay? But Izuku's main focus was to kill All Might. And so as they're on the bus and they're heading, Izuku sits with Momo, you know, and she just snuggles into Izuku's arm, sleeping, you know, and she tells him, where were you this weekend? Izuku states, oh, I was helping All Might. I was helping him with something, but I'll tell you later, okay, because it's not my information to give. She agrees, and what goes down is, as they get to the USJ, the unforeseen simulation joint, this is when they're met by 13, and Izuku is actually a nerd. He likes 13, he likes her quirk as well. He writes down all her abilities and everything like that, and they walk into the building. When they get in there, Izuku just senses something wrong, and he immediately senses something wrong. He's like, Aizawa Sensei. He looks back at Izuku, and Aizawa's like, yes, headache. Izuku walks over and he begins to float. I sense a lot of malicious intent coming from down there. And he goes, oh, are you sure about this? And Izuku looks at Aizawa and I never lied to you. Aizawa looks at Izuku and he goes, agreed, kid. 13, get these kids out of here now. And she's like, what? And he goes, now 13! Midoriya, you, and Izuku's like, to hell am I moving? Izuku begins to walk forward, and as he's walking, he's floating in mid-air, walking over the stairs. Everyone's just watching Izuku. Villains start to come out of this purple portal, and Izuku's like, I was right. He looks back at Aizawa, and Aizawa's like, 13 now! 13 rushes the kid out of the room, out of the USJ. Izuku notices the door is locked. He instantly blows the door out with his hands. And Aizawa goes, Midoriya, I need you to. And Izuku looks right at Aizawa. I am not going nowhere. I just told you that. You can ground me all you like, but I'm not going nowhere. Aizawa looks at him and goes, fine. Well then help me out, Midoriya. Izuku's like, sweet, fair enough. Izuku waves his hand, and before Shigaraki can even speak, Izuku sensed out everyone that's in the building. He goes, oh, I see, they're all scattered out within the building. I'm guessing they wanted to try capture all of us kids. Unfortunately for them, Izuku closes his hand. As he closes his hand, what goes down is 60% of all the villains slam down to the ground. They can't do nothing. Izuku goes, wow, I got 60% of them. Incredible. I didn't think I would get any of them. That was pretty weird. And Aizawa looks at Izuku, and Aizawa rushes down immediately and begins to beat down the rest of them. Shigaraki's like, what the? Where's All Might? And who's that kid? And why are you guys all on the ground? What's going on? And Izuku goes to fly down. Kurogiri disappears, but Izuku just doesn't say where he goes, you know? And Kurogiri appears by the UA students. Izuku's by Aizawa taking out the students. Or taking out the villains. And as Shigaraki sees Izuku taking on the villains, this is when he sends the Nomu to attack Izuku. Because one, he's in the way, and both Aizawa and Izuku are taking out all the villains as if they're nothing, and there's only a little bit of them left. And so as the Nomu rushes at Izuku looks at it, he senses nothing but death and destruction from this creature. And he flexes his energy, and the Nomu instantly hits the ground, slamming the ground. And Izuku's like, wow, this thing's quite powerful. Really powerful, in fact. As it starts to absorb Izuku's shock from being slammed to the ground, Shigaraki's like, what the hell? Nomu! Kill the kid! Nomu instantly starts to screech in pain, and he starts to stand up. His arms and legs starts to break from the force, but it's still standing up. Izuku's eyes widen, but not in a sense of fear, out of happiness. He's like, whoa, you're strong. You're so strong, I can't believe it. Alright, I'm so happy about this. Aizawa Sensei, I'm going to have some fun if you don't mind. Aizawa's like, what headache, what? And Izuku instantly appears right by the Nomu and punches the Nomu. And at first it looks like it did nothing, but the Nomu starts to shake in pain. And instantly gets sent flying away. And Izuku's like, wow, alright. Judging by that physical contact, I can tell you a few things, Aizawa Sensei. And he goes, yes, what is it? 1, this creature is a bioengineered creature, as multiple people put together. 2, it has multiple quirks, shock absorption, hyper regeneration, and multiple super strength quirks. And not only that, it has some form of obedience in its mind to this Shigaraki character. And he goes, should we kill it? And Izuku goes, no, not at all. We shouldn't kill it at all. He goes, even though it's a bio being, it's still a living being. In fact, it could become very useful, especially for me. And Shigaraki's like, what the? Who the hell are you? Izuku flicks Shigaraki right across the atrium, right across the entire area where he's at, and Shigaraki hits the wall. As Izuku does that, he notices all of his friends are all disappeared. They're not back at where he sensed them. And in fact, they're all around the USJ, around a lot of either some of them unconscious villains or not. Izuku sees this and he's like, they're alright, until he realizes Momo. And as Izuku distracted, Nomu rushes at Izuku again and is about to hit him, but Izuku places his hand on the Nomu's brain. Instead of killing the Nomu, Izuku uses his ability and he frees the Nomu from Shigaraki's control. And what happens is Izuku tries to find the piece that is the human, but he can't. And so Izuku headbutts the Nomu and plants some of his will into the Nomu, by tactile telekinesis. What goes down is the Nomu starts to stop, and starts to stop screaming and just stands by Izuku. He goes, are you okay? The Nomu just nods his head, and Shigaraki's like looking up like, Nomu, why do you? And Izuku goes, you've been in so much pain. You've been hurt for so long. These people did this to you? I'm so sorry. Izuku places his hand and starts to heal some of the Nomu's injuries, even though the Nomu has hyper-regenerations as a mental injury that Izuku's healing. He goes, never feel afraid again. Go to Shoto Aizawa and help him out, okay? And the Nomu just nods to Izuku and lands by him. Listen to every word he tells you to do. And he instantly bows and rushes off to Aizawa. Aizawa sees this big hulking bird creature stand over him, and at first he's about to attack him, but Izuku tells him he's there to help you. He will listen to everything you say. I freed him. He was in pain. It's not a bad creature, nor is it a good creature, but we can change it, right? Aizawa just looks at Izuku and he goes, alright, what's his abilities? Shock absorption, hyper regeneration, super strength, like I told you. And Aizawa goes, very well. I need your help. What's his name? He goes, his name is Nomu. Izuku instantly flies away. As he flies away, he goes to the helps to people that immediately need help. Shigaraki is already down, As Kogiri appears, Izuku sees this, but he's too distracted. Instead, he flicks a pressurized telekinetic hit, knocking Kogiri and Shigaraki down on the ground again, hurting both Shigaraki and Kogiri, bending Kogiri's metal thing around his neck. Izuku flies off, and he sees that 13, all the kids, he's looking at everyone, he's using his abilities. He's like, where is she? Where is she? He looks around until he senses her, Momo, the big guy standing over her, about to hit her. Izuku's like, and he screams, get the hell away from my girlfriend! Puts his hand up, and the big guy that stands by Momo is slammed, and he makes a massive crater on the ground with his body, and he's not even moving. Every villain that's around there, Izuku goes, all of you, now! Izuku lifts his hand up, and every 1A student is floating right by Izuku. He grabs them all and pulls them all by him, and then Izuku with his right hand begins to turn his right hand, and all the villains that appear, that are all around, that he didn't knock out, and that were bound around all his friends, he picks them up all one by one. They all begin to float, and they begin to spin like a tornado fashion around Izuku and all his friends. They're like, Midoriya, you're right. Izuku's like, shh, tells them all, and he grabs Momo and kisses her. You right? I'm sorry I let my guard down. And she just looks at Izuku, it's alright, don't worry. Izuku looks at her, I'm never gonna let that happen to you again. I promise. He looks at Momo's eyes, his eyes go from a light green to a dark green. And then kind of dark green energy, like lightning starts to appear out of his body. Izuku's angry, he's really angry. All the villains, Izuku rounds them all up. And as Izuku notices, Nomu and Aizawa starts to take out all the other villains like they're nothing. And Izuku throws all the villains down like they're rags, Shigaraki tries to attack Aizawa, but Nomu jumps in the way and catches Shigaraki's hand. Shigaraki decays Nomu's arm and is about to decay the whole body, but Izuku appears and kicks Shigaraki right in the head, sends him flying again, breaking his jaw. And from that kick, Izuku was able to determine Shigaraki, Tomura Shigaraki. His name was Tenko Shimura. He had a quirk decay, and he is All For One's successor. And Izuku say, interesting. I should let him go and let the plot thicken, shouldn't I? Should I? Izuku thinks, and he goes, no. And as Izuku looks at Nomu, you're okay? The Nomu just nods at Izuku with his arm recovering. Izuku's like, good. Good. Go up there and protect the kids. Stay by them up there. And Nomu agrees. Every one of you, the Nomu will not hurt you. He'll protect you, okay? Stay there. Momo, use your quirk to start making bandages and help 13, okay? There's a regulator in her suit, and they should help with you to repair her suit and help her get back to full health. All of you guys stay together. And what goes down? Ida And Ida looks at Izuku, run back to UA now. He goes, yes, Midoriya, but Izuku's like, no! Ida's like, yes, sir. President, class president. Ida rushes out and he runs back to get help. Bear in mind that Ida didn't get told all the help this time because everyone was too distracted, and yeah. And Ida didn't go the first time because he's Tenny Ida. As they all stand there and waiting, Izuku goes, if you're not injured, make a perimeter around everyone that is injured and get them out of here, okay? Bakugo! Bakugo looks at Izuku, kind of grits his teeth. You and Shoto are one of the most powerful ones there without me there. Use your guys quick. Shoto, you stay in the back. Bakugo, you in the front. Everyone leave the room now! Everyone leaves the UA, listening to everything Izuku says. Izuku turns back, and and all the villains are all in the in the area where they are, the massive center plaza, they're all face down on the ground. Shigaraki and Kogiri are just right there. Kogiri tries to teleport, but Izuku uses his quirk to hold Kogiri there, and he goes, you kind of remind me of this guy. He uses his quirk and he pulls Kogiri to him. But before Kogiri could do anything, black substance comes out of Shigaraki's mouth and he disappears. Kogiri stays where he is. No black substance comes out of him. He just stays where he is because Izuku uses his quirk to stop anything from interfering. And he goes, damn! Izuku puts his hand on Nomu's head. When he puts his hand on Nomu's head, he learns everything. That he's a person, Oboro Shirakumo. His quirk was Cloud, now is the Warp. He can teleport and do all the stuff. And he was the first successful Nomu. But as Izuku does this, what ends up going down is that Nobu's mind deletes all the information upon where the League of Villains are. And Izuku tries to go back upon it, but unfortunately, thanks to it was a quirk, a unique quirk that deletes memories, Izuku's irritated, because unlike codes where you can delete things on computers and refine them through the number codes, Izuku don't have that same luxury, there's no piece of fragments of the memory. Instead, it's Izuku stands there, he uses his quirk and he frees Oboro. He uses his massive tactile telekinetical abilities to free Oboro from All For One's control. However, he has no memories of the League of Villains whatsoever. He still has his warp quirk and everything like that, and he still looks like Kogiri, but it's Oboro. And as Izuku releases him, a secondary quirk activates within Kogiri. As Izuku looks and he's about to say something, Kogiri immediately warps away. Izuku's like, what the? I thought I... And Izuku briefly senses it. Damn, there was a failsafe quirk. That awful one. What the hell? And Izuku goes back to Aizawa. He knows he needs to tell Aizawa this, but Aizawa's just sitting there, looking at Izuku like, headache, you did very well. Not only that, you've brought back someone that could help us. Izuku goes, no, they can't help. I can give you as much as I can, but this guy is a bioengineered human created to destroy All Might. He has multiple quirks, and this is Izuku explained to Aizawa and then all the teachers and the police that come. No one punishes Izuku. Nezu smiles at Izuku and tells him he's very grateful that how powerful Izuku is. And that he's very grateful for Izuku bringing Nomu here. Izuku goes, eventually this Nomu will be able to communicate soon. I've healed the part of his psyche and his mind to allow for him to at least try to speak. He can understand everything as if he was a normal adult. However, thanks to the manipulation within his body and the fact that I found the secondary quirk within his body, I removed it, and now he'll be able to develop the ability to talk soon, and that, but he's still going to be the Nomu. His only weak point is his head. But other than that, Nomu, come here. The Nomu rushes to Izuku. You see the teachers in front of you. He looks at the teachers. And you see the UA symbol. Nomu agrees. He goes, you are the protector of UA. Do you understand me? And Nomu agreed. All Might's not there. Bear in mind, he's still recovering. Okay, All Might's still recovering. Okay, so there's none of this plus ultra stuff. No. In fact, Izuku used his ability, and now they have a new kind of protector of the school, and he's a powerful one at that. Nomu. Aizawa, at first the teachers were nervous about this, but what goes down is Principal Nezu jumps on Nomu's back and he smiles. Very, very well done, young Midoriya. I was too an experiment, so I understand the feeling of being in this Nomu's position. This Nomu will stay with me. I'll help it out. And Izuku goes, cool, because this Nomu has an increased intelligence as well. So he could probably learn really quickly as well and help you. Nezu's really proud, he's like, oh, I see. Well, come on then. And so they take the Nomu with Nezu and the Nomu. They leave together. All the teachers just like, but then they realize their prodigy Izuku has something to do with it. They don't care. And this is when everyone starts to redo everything. Everyone has the day off where Izuku spends time with Momo. He makes sure that everything's fine with Momo, and this is when he finally consummates his relationship with her. And if you don't know what that means, type it up. But anyway, this is when he starts to do some actual studying. And if you know where I get this studying idea from, look at Zathura. Zathura's what-offs, he does that a lot. And just to do a reference point, bro, thanks for that, by the way. You're crack up, and I like using that type of plot. But Izuku's doing a lot of cool studying with Momo. Awesome studying. And Izuku doesn't even touch Momo to make her feel the studying abilities of Izuku's telekinetic abilities. But anyway, Izuku goes back to school after they all arrive, and they're all smiling, you know. They just all look at Izuku. Katsuki Bakugo's fear of Izuku still exists, but a sense of admiration appears within Izuku. Todoroki is still conflicted, but he realizes that Izuku is not the stuck-up person that he believed he was them to be too. And the fact that Izuku could be a person that could possibly talk to him. And so as the class starts and everyone talking, everyone like that, this is when Aizawa talks about the UA Sports Festival, and that they're going to be doing that, and no one complains because, well, the League of Villains were taken out so easily, you know. The Shigaraki, only 2 people managed to escape, but Izuku learnt a lot about them. And so what goes down is everyone starts to study again, and Izuku's studying more with Momo until the what's it called, Sports Festival. Now when everyone appears, they get to the Sports Festival, everyone's excited and all that stuff. The Nomu sits with Nezu. Of course he's one of the security guards, but he always sits with Nezu. Nezu made sure that the Nomu had a helmet to protect himself and for no one to see him, and he wears like a sort of outfit. And everyone just thinks this guy is just a big bodyguard. Towards he's a huge bodyguard that don't want to be messed with. Bear in mind, All Might hasn't fully healed yet, okay? Izuku made it very clear to All Might that Recovery Girl can't heal him all the time. His body needs to naturally heal through it. But slowly but surely, All Might's becoming to the point where he's almost at 100%, okay? Take that into consideration. All Might's almost at 100%. And you know what that says for the story, right? A whitewash. But anyway, what goes down is as everyone makes their entrance to the podiums, before they go there, Todoroki, he doesn't declare any form of war to Izuku. He just asks Izuku, can he speak with him privately? Izuku's like, yeah, of course, Todoroki. So he does. They go away, and Izuku's reading Todoroki, and he feels Todoroki's emotions. He feels the anxiety, the fear, the anger he has, the unsure of himself, he can trust Izuku. But Izuku just puts his hand out and goes, I know what you're feeling, and I can feel everything you're feeling. Okay, just hear me out. You can trust me. 100%, I'll 100% listen to you. And so he tells him, he goes, how did you deduce that? And Izuku goes, my quirk allows me to feel your feeling as well. And he goes, if that's the case, then tell me what I'm going to tell you. Izuku's like, alright then. If I'm going to state everything, you're the son of NG Todoroki, Endeavor, right? And he gritted his teeth, and Izuku goes, you have some daddy issues, I can tell. Once anyone speaks of Endeavor's name, you grit your teeth in anger. I register that emotion. So either one of 2 things happened. Endeavor pushed you to a point where you hate him so much, or an external factor happened. He goes, well, that's pretty much both of them in the same. And Izuku goes, okay, external factor. So either he's the reason why you have the injury of your eye, or someone else. And he looks down, someone else. And Izuku goes, well, if I was to deduce anything then, it was your mother. Your mother poured hot water over your face, right? And looks at Izuku, and Izuku goes, if I was to deduce even more, you're the subject of a quirk marriage. If I looked at it properly, you have 3 older siblings with similar type of powers. However, your mother has ice ability, and knowing how egotistical and irritating your father is, he would have gone out of his way to try to claim your mother and make perfect specimens. Am I right? Todoroki's shocked, you know how accurate Izuku's words are. Izuku goes, if I was to continue to go further, he wanted you to become the next All Might, if not better, right? Shoto's just eyes are bewildered, and he pushed your mother to the breaking point, to where she injured you. And this is why you don't use your fire, right? Todoroki is shocked. He is absolutely shocked. He's like, yeah, you're right. And Izuku goes, well, yeah, I get you. And don't worry, I have your back, Todoroki. I have your back. And Izuku just places his hand, but not using your fire, This is your problem. This is why you're weak within yourself. And he goes, your mum must have believed something in you, right? She only broke because of your father, not because of you, because of your father. So don't put that on yourself. And Izuku goes, I want to just tell you one thing. You're not going to beat me with your ice. You're not even going to beat me with the fire. But note that this is your fire, not that idiot Endeavor's. And just note, I don't like your father. I don't like him one bit. He's the epitome of a fake hero. He's so close to being a vigilante. He's so close to being a villain. Honestly, I look forward to becoming a hero just to take him down, Izuku states. Todoroki smiles at that, and Izuku goes, there you go, you can smile. Izuku just walks up to him one more time. Use your fire, please. You have so much power and potential. With your ice and fire, you can be so destructive and so creative. Think about it, but don't think about it too long, because I hate wasting time. And if me and you go up in a battle against each other, I'm just gonna flick you out. Do you understand? Todoroki's shocked. Izuku walks away, and Izuku goes, and Kachan, and Bakugo hears it, and Katsuki, and Bakugo's just shocked to hear this. You're not good at sneaking around, you know, I can sense you. Izuku walks away. Everything you heard, shut your mouth. Bakugo just shut up. And Bakugo just shut up, eh? He grits his teeth and it's like, damn bastard. I'm gonna kill you. But he realizes, no, I can't. He can kill me without even trying. I can't even use my quirk against him. I'm effectively quirkless. And so, as everyone gets done, Izuku gets pulled up to the podium where he has talked to everyone. Izuku just states to everyone, I'm just going to make this very clear. 1, I hate wasting time. 2, all I'm going to say is give me your best, okay? Because if you don't, I'm going to annihilate every single one of you, alright? And just note, I'm not going to hold back. And Izuku goes, because you know why? I'm going to win. Plus Ultra. Izuku walks down and everyone grits their teeth, but everyone in UA is like, 1A are like, ooh, we're not going to say nothing. And so as the first round goes, when it comes to the 4-kilometer run, the moment she says begin, Izuku takes off immediately and uses his quirk to pull Momo forward a little bit. And then he releases her and Momo begins to use her quirk. And as Izuku thought Shadow was going to freeze the entire room, but as Todoroki looks up, he sees Momo in front of him, running, and he sees Izuku flying off. He's like, what the? As he rushes to try to catch her, he goes past Momo, freezing the ground, but this is where Momo uses the abilities that Izuku told her to use. Momo makes ice skates and jumps on the ice and starts to skate across the ice behind Shoto Todoroki. And he's like, interesting, but he doesn't attack her, you know, because, well, he doesn't want to feel the wrath of dying to Izuku. And so instead he stays in front of her. But what he does though, which shocks himself and Endeavor, Todoroki realizes if he keeps this up, Momo's going to catch him and probably push him out of the way, and he doesn't want to lose too much. So what he does is he makes an ice sled and he uses the fire in his left hand, even though he doesn't like it. But he takes Izuku's words into consideration and he blows forward. He doesn't realize that Izuku kind of manipulated Shoto's mindscape into accepting what Izuku said when it comes to using fire. But hey, it's about making the better person, you know. And as Shoto begins to use his ice and fire, he's rocketing around, eh? And Momo's like, wow, that's incredible. He's got 2 quirks, just like my Zuzu. And as Momo's gliding across the ice, it doesn't face her, she's just going across it, you know, it's making her happy. And so when they get to the 0-pointer, when Todoroki looks up and sees them, all the 0-pointers are gone. He's like, what? And they see that all the 0-pointers were destroyed and crushed to the side. And he's like, until he sees one 0-pointer about to come and get him, and he goes, he left one for me. Thank you. He instantly touches the ground and throws the ice, and it makes the iceberg, destroys the 0-pointer. And what happens is, as Todoroki's going through, he tells Momo, don't follow me. I made sure that the 0-pointer was off balance before I did it, so it will fall on you. Momo hears this. She makes, she takes the ice skates off immediately and begins to run. She runs around, and what she does is she still catches up. Bakugo gets past her, well, almost gets past her, you know. But what happens is Momo gets back on the ice again with Todoroki in front of her, and she jumps on the ice and starts to use her ice skates again, which works for her. Izuku is already at the finish line, I want to state. No one realized this. Everyone in the audience didn't even believe Izuku. Within the first 5 seconds, Izuku made it to, Made it to, well, the where the stadium is. And what happened? Let's just say, long story short, the person that gets there number 1 is Izuku. Number 2 is Shoto Todoroki, Bakugo, Momo. Okay. And what goes down, the cavalry battle happens, and I hate the cavalry battle, but I'm just going to state that Izuku, Momo, Mei, and Ochako, okay? I was going to state they come by Izuku, just use an indestructible telekinetic field, makes them all float, and they win. And when it comes to the battle with Shinso, this is where things take a little turn for a good, you know? And for a bad. Because Shinso is not going to realize what he does until it's almost too late. Izuku walks to the field and he talks and when the battle begins, Shinso begins to start to, you know, what's it called? Insult 1A and insult all the powers and everything like that. Izuku says nothing until he insults Izuku's girlfriend. He goes, that girl, is she your girlfriend? Well, she shouldn't be a student, she should be in charge for indecent exposure. Look at her. She dresses like a, and as he was about to say the Horroid, what goes down is it goes, what the hell did you say about my... And what goes down is Izuku frozen and Shinso smiles. I won. Now if you guys hear anything in the background, my next door neighbor's child's outside screaming. I can't do nothing about it because my kids are not here. They're out in their own rooms relaxing. So I apologize for any noise you hear in the background. But yeah, what goes down, as Izuku is frozen, Shinso tells Izuku to hurry up and leave. But Izuku doesn't move. Izuku just stands there. This is when Aizawa goes, what's the matter with the kid? Yeah, he has power to control minds, but what's happened with headache? Izuku begins to get a vein on his head. As that vein appears, 2 veins appear across Izuku's head. The entire stadium begins to shake and to shudder and to rumble. The whole entire stadium cracks. Everyone feels this, like, what the? What's going on? Izuku's shaking everything, he's getting really angry. And as Izuku's eyes open back at Shinso, Shinso feels true fear. Everyone that's there feels true fear. As Izuku starts to stand up, fully opens his eyes. As he does so, the entire stadium lifts off the ground. Everything around them lifts off the ground. The entire facility that is the UA Stadium lifts off the ground. Nezu and all of them realize that they look back at Aizawa's like, what's wrong with the kid? Hey, Midoriya! Wake up! Izuku's like, he's so angry, his powers just igniting even more. The whole Izuku's power starts to flow around the entire UA school. Everyone starts to feel it, everyone outside and inside. Everyone in the town starts to feel it, you know? This massive shaking power. Izuku's causing a mini earthquake around the entire town where they are. Inko sees this and she goes, what's wrong with my son? Izuku! As she's about to rush off, Aizawa's like, Midoriya, calm down. And looks at her, he goes, Shinso, what did you do? Shinso's afraid, he can't even speak. Momo rushes down and she jumps and grabs Izuku. She's like, Zuzu. Izuku's just like, Izuku's head has a vein and he's really angry. His light greens turn to permanent dark green. The whole entire area is just, everyone just feels just scary killing intent. Endeavor at first when he saw Shoto use his fire was so proud of his son, now he could become the next #1 until he felt Izuku's power. Endeavor pretty much dropped to his knees, instantly defeated, knowing that no one's gonna surpass that kid. It's just no one. He looks down to realize that this kid's holding the entire stadium in air and he's just standing there. Izuku starts to blink his eyes, and as he blinks his eyes and he realizes that he feels tears going down his left arm. He looks back and he sees Momo crying. Zuzu, what? Stop. Izuku sees her and he calms down. He looks at Shinso and he looks at everyone. He realizes what he's doing. He waves his hand and he focuses. As he closes his eyes and waves his hand, the dark green energy turns to light green and everything starts to repile up and land, you know? And what goes down is Izuku's he repairs all the damage he just caused and he looks at Momo. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Izuku looks at Shinso and he goes, what did you do to me? And Shinso just can't say nothing, he's just afraid. And Izuku goes, I don't think I can continue with this tournament. Izuku breathes out, Momo's like, come on then. Aizawa and everyone will understand. Izuku follows Momo and he walks out and Midnight's like, Midoriya, are you? And Aizawa goes, Midoriya chooses to leave. Shinso wins. Aizawa gets up out of his chair and he leaves immediately. There, Izuku's in Recovery Girl's office. All his friends want to see him, but Izuku's just looking down. Bakugo grits his teeth because he knows that even if he was to beat everyone, it's not a real fight. Izuku's not there, but he realizes that it's any fight with Izuku, it's over. Like, don't try, you know. He realizes that Izuku's just an inescapable war. He makes All Might look like nothing. That's what scares Bakugo. And so what goes down is Aizawa and them are talking to Izuku, and Izuku goes, it's his quirk, he used mind control over me. Aizawa goes, I thought you couldn't be controlled by mind control quirks. And he goes, oh, it wasn't that. It had a secondary ability, it kind of infiltrated my mind, the quirk did. It connected with a dark psyche I had within myself. And he goes, dark psyche? And he goes, yeah, when I'm literally angry, when I'm angry to the point the dark energy that appears around me, that's because I'm angry. Well, that's a manifestation of it. He unlocked it, the angry, sad child that his best friend bullied him like that. And all the emotions of the years have been looked and felt like a, outcast, even though he's smarter than everyone. Izuku was just done, it was just a done feeling. And so Aizawa goes, wise idea, kid. He goes, don't worry about internships, okay? Izuku's like, alright. And so it goes down as All Might still comes, still does a stupid dramatic, oh, I'm here, stuff like that. But what goes down is after that, All Might comes to see Izuku and he sits back in his hospital bed and he goes, he goes, you alright, kid? And Izuku goes, no, I'm not alright. In fact, I feel like I'm a danger to everyone. If I don't get away from everyone soon, I could probably kill everyone here. Izuku looks up really nervously and All Might puts his hand on the kid and he goes, oh, I understand. I'm too afraid to sleep here because I think I might have a nightmare and punch the wall, destroying the school. Izuku's like, oh, yeah, you understand it too. And so what goes down is Izuku just begins to, he just watches everyone. Bakugo is still the winner, even though Todoroki uses his fire, Bakugo is still the winner because there's no incentive. But what goes down is Izuku still gets the most offers out of everyone. The most offers, and then it's showed to Todoroki, Bakugo, Momo, all that stuff. But what goes down is Izuku, he was going to intern with Night-Eye. He really wanted to, The reason why is because it would help him out. Someone with a prediction quirk, he's got super intelligent. But he realized that he can be more useful than just doing investigations. And so Izuku puts his hand now for Ryukyu. And then, not short after, Ryukyu recruits Izuku and he joins her agency. And so, as Izuku joins Ryukyu's does the internship with her, she asks Izuku what's his quirk, and Izuku tells her, and she's shocked. He gets what's it called? He meets Nejire, which Izuku blushes because she's another beautiful girl, but he has a girlfriend, so he don't give a damn, don't face her. And so he begins his internship, and he begins to blow Ryukyu out of the water on power and ability in general, and the fact that he can fly faster than her. But this makes her happy even more. Makes her so happy even more. And so as the next 3 days go on, bear in mind Mirio is going to be the one for all. I know it's boring, but yeah, 1 for all Mirio. I'm not going to give Izuku 1 for all because he doesn't need it. As Izuku's with Ryukyu, he begins to practice and learn his abilities perfectly. She does trials and tribulations for him where he has to work his quirk out. But what ends up going down as young Izuku is just so much stronger than other people. It's just it's not even fair. It's not at all. And so, as Izuku goes off with Ryukyu, he begins to fly with her and everything like that, and do certain stuff with her and Nejire to do some hero work, some patrolling, all that stuff, And it works for Izuku. Sorry guys, it works for Izuku hardcore. Now, when it comes to the fateful day of the Nomu incident, that still goes down. All of it still goes down. The only problem with that though is Izuku is not going to arrive, unfortunately. And so Stain, the hero killer Stain's going to kill Native. He's going to almost kill Ida, but Shoto saves him, and he almost kills Shoto, but the Shoto's fire are the reason why where Stain couldn't get Todoroki. But what goes down is as he was about to, Endeavor appeared, and what happened is Gran Torino appeared with Mirio, But it was already too late. Endeavor beat the hell out of Stain. Stain still does this awesome speech, but lowers people to the League of Villains. And Izuku's like, damn, why didn't they take him out? Why did they allow him to open his mouth? Momo's like, what's that over the phone? The hero killer Stain. They should have shut him up immediately. Now he's going to have more followers follow him because of that ideal. And so what goes down is everything relevant, everyone starts, taking their time with their, internships until it comes time to go back to school. When they get back to school, everything's relative, everyone's buzzing out, everyone's shocked just how powerful they all are and how close it is coming to summer break. And so as they do their final test, their final test Izuku gets 100%. He's number 1, Momo number 2, and she gets 99%. And that's all that matters in my story. But what goes down is Izuku noticed something about, what's it called? Ida, you know? He asks Ida and tells him, well, if you want, I can try my best to go heal your brother before we go on to our field trip after our class holiday, whatever. Ida agrees, you know? He's so grateful, and Izuku just nods his head. What goes down is Ida's sporting a lot of scars and injuries thanks to him being slashed up by Stain, but he can still run. Todoroki, he's sweet. His fire and ice protected him. But what goes down is before they get put into their teams to fight All Might, Izuku goes to Bakugo, but Bakugo goes, we're fighting All Might, so you better not hold back on me, nerd. Like he did in the sports festival, and Izuku like, whatever. And so what goes down is, as Izuku sitting there, All Might, well, he eventually appears and states, I am here. Izuku goes, well, All Might, you rapidly changed. How are you feeling? All Might goes, I'm almost at 100%, young man. Almost. Izuku's like, good. So I'm guessing I'm fighting you. He goes, well, we were going to make you fight me, but your quirk's too versatile. Way too versatile, especially for me. And because you were able to overpower their Nomu, yep, you're way more versatile than me. And so Izuku just smiles, and so when they proceed to do that teacher versus student fight, it's not even a fight for Izuku. The moment they begin, Izuku uses his ability and locks All Might into place. And Izuku just walks past, slaps handcuffs on the All Might and walks him out. Almost like, alright, that's a very efficient kid. And so what goes down is, after that they go on to their break, you know? And that's where they go to their island where David's shield is. Now I would cover that situation, but I'll do that on another one, okay? I can't be bothered doing that. But what goes down is, as they all come back, they go to the forest where they go to do their training with Pixel Bob. Now Izuku brings all his books, like Aizawa said, everyone has their name on his book. Izuku names them all. And before they get there, Izuku hands the books out to all of them. And they all begin to read it, which shocks them, because Izuku not only showing their quirks in detail, but the ability to fight with them, you know, and what they can and cannot do with them. And this is really useful for a lot of people until Izuku sees Bakugo. Bakugo turns his head and goes, like the hell, I need help from you. Izuku grabs the book and throws it at Bakugo's face. He goes, this is not an option. Aizawa said to take the book, so you take the damn book, Katsuki. Izuku walks away, and what happens is annoys him. What happens is this is a League of Villains. They're back at their base, and Shigaraki wants to attack, and what happens is All For One goes, yes, bring me back that kid that has that quirk. And so what ends up going down is, as Shigaraki is pondering this and pondering what he wants and can do, back with all the student heroes heading towards the forest, so when they get to a place where it all breaks, and Izuku looks around realizing that Aizawa's joking. He goes, Aizawa sensei, really? You know I can use my quirk to fly everyone there. And Aizawa goes, yeah, I know, that's why you're getting on the bus. Izuku's like, what? And he goes, yep, you're too powerful to be left alone with this team. This team needs to understand true, not fear, but true, what's it called? Predators. And so what goes down is, as Izuku just sits there, he's shocked, you know? Izuku turns back to Momo and says, I'm sorry, but I can't come with you guys. Momo understands, and Izuku goes, but don't worry, I got your back. As I told you, I'm never gonna leave you alone. No one's gonna ever hurt you again, my Momo. Momo smiles and she gives Izuku a kiss, and this makes the Wawa Pussycats smile. But what happens is Aizawa goes, alright kids, be gone. And the Mandalays, or whoever picks a ball, whoever uses their quirk, and Mud pushes them off the side. And before everyone can fall off, Izuku uses his ability to save everyone. And Izuku goes, this is the only thing I'm going to do. Aizawa goes, Midoriya, jump on the bus now. Izuku goes, can I watch? And he goes, no, you cannot. And he's like, oh, really? Well then, can we just fly there immediately? I don't want to wait then. And he goes, alright then, Midoriya. My headache. And Izuku's like, come on. Aizawa jumps on the bus. And Izuku goes, are you tired? And he goes, of course I'm tired. What do you? Izuku touches Aizawa's hand, and he immediately recovers. And he goes, alright, I'm not tired. Okay, Aizawa grabs all Izuku's books and starts to go over everything. You know, all the pros and cons of everyone's quirks and what they can do. And this blows Aizawa's mind, you know. He sees what even Izuku even draw a perfect thing for Mineta to make him be able to use his quirk. And so as Izuku goes with Aizawa, they all go through the forest, you know. Momo has a new determination, and everyone does too as well. Izuku goes, do your best, work as a team. Bakugo, you stay in front. Todoroki, you stay in the back. Ida, you make sure you help everyone else. And everyone work together with your quirks, okay? Don't be stupid. That was Izuku's last word to everyone. As your class president, you guys should listen to this and follow it to a T. Bakugo looks at Izuku. He goes, and Bakugo doesn't need to say nothing. He goes, fine, I'll do whatever. And he was about to say Deku, but he's like, Izuku. Izuku's like, looks at Bakugo and he jumps on the bus. And as they jump on the bus, all the wild pussycats are on the bus. Izuku goes, Aizawa Sensei, I'm so not waiting for 30 minutes to get to the camp. Izuku snaps his finger, the bus begins to float, and Izuku makes the bus float all the way to the camp. He lands it, and everyone follows the direction. Izuku modifies and uses his telekinesis over a long range distance to give everyone the direction where the camp is, and to also help them out, you know. And so they do really well. In fact, and it takes them 1 hour to get to the forest, and that even though they're puffing and tired, everyone put an effort. Aizawa was so impressed. He's like, impressive, you guys beat the record by miles. By miles, you kids. Incredible. Young Izuku did light a fire underneath all of yous. Come on, get some rest. As they get there, Izuku uses his telekinesis. He's already made them a massive big bowl of katsu ramen. Everything, like all the best ramen imaginable, and everyone's shocked. Izuku uses his quirk and hands it out to them with bottles of water, and he goes, there you guys go, eat up. They all begin to do so. Izuku makes Momo one too and helps her out, and he holds her. And Izuku's already met Koda. Koda tried to punch him, but Izuku used his telekinesis, and Koda said, let go of me. And Izuku goes down and not reads his mind, but reads his intention and his feelings. And Izuku touches his head. And he goes, I'm guessing no one understands how you feel. Everyone's too busy telling you your parents are heroes, right? He's like, what? How do you know? And Izuku goes, it's only logical. You're Koda, you have a water quirk. My abilities are slow but surely more evolving. I can touch you and learn everything about you. When I made contact with your hand, I learned all about you and your view upon heroes, and I must tell you, you're absolutely right. Koda looks at Izuku, and he goes, yes, it's stupid for heroes to tell you that your mother and father are heroes and they're just doing their best and everything, and you have every right to be angry at every single person that tell you that. And Mandalay, everyone's just looking at Izuku, but Izuku just goes down to him. At the same time, your parents are heroes though. These are all the people your parents have saved. And I can't condone what Muscular did to your parents, and I can't condone the situation. But what your parents did also saved a lot of lives. That's the one thing you got to take into consideration. And this is when Koda starts to break down. He goes, but why did they have to die and leaving me behind? He cries, and he's about to run away, but Izuku appears in front of him and grabs him and hugs him. And he goes, I know. And he looks down and goes, I know, I can feel it. A tear goes down Izuku's eyes, and everyone's looking at Izuku. He taps Koda's head and he goes, I'm here for you. I bet you no one has ever said that to you, right? And he looks at Izuku, but everyone's too busy telling you they can help you, that you can get over this and you become a great hero. But that's not what you want to hear, right? And Koda's like, no, it's not what I want to hear. And Izuku goes, well then, let me help you. He rubs Koda's head. I'll help you get over this, and hopefully in the future I can use my power to bring down that villain for you. Would you like that? And what goes down is Koda like, it's like, like yes, but in a child way. Izuku rubs his head, and come have some food with us. And Koda sits by Izuku, he just stays attached to Izuku. Everyone's shocked to see this, and Aizawa smiles. Mandalay's like, how did he do that? Aizawa goes, he has unique powers, don't even question me, honestly, read this pamphlet. It's much more easier. I carry this around me with anyone that has questions about Midoriya. And so when it comes to next day, Aizawa goes, welcome students of 1A. This is gonna be your week of hell. Thanks to Midoriya here, he's got detailed analysis on every single one of you, all your guys' quirks, strengths and weaknesses, and how you can apply and how not. So you guys are gonna be going through that. And they're all shocked, you know, all shocked. Izuku pulls something out for a Hogakure, you know? And then he goes, hey, Hagakure, whatever her name is, Invisible Girl. And she goes, yeah? I made this for you. You don't realize this, but I copied the follicles of your hair. And don't tell me how I found your hair. I just found an invisible hair on my arm. I was like, what the hell? How can I feel this? Until I realized it's your hair. And I broke down the structure compounds and I made a gel-like solution to your clothes. So you may not see it right now, but I'm holding a pair of clothes for you. And Hogakure touches it, and then she touches it. She's so giddy, she can't believe it. And Izuku can feel from her the excitement, the happy, the blushing, you know. And Izuku goes, here, take those stupid gloves off. I got you some more. And what happens is Izuku deactivates the thing, and he goes, so this one stays permanent, okay? You can use this for your underwear and stuff, but here, the suit here, as you see the suit, it's just normal. It looks normal. And as she touches it, it goes invisible with her hand touch. And she's like, what the? And Izuku goes, that's the same kind of thing I made, but it goes invisible by your touch, okay? So, because you're invisible, you won't be able to find your invisible clothes, right? And she goes, oh yeah. And she kind of giggles at that, and Izuku goes, well, I made it so that was my first prototype, okay? But this is the second one. I saw the problem with the quirk, and here you go. She is so shocked and so grateful to Izuku that she just rushes to him, hugs him bare naked. Izuku uses his telekinesis, goes, you forget you're naked, please don't. He uses his quirk and pushes her away, and she's like blushes hard out. Nomu kind of looks, but she sees that her boyfriend's got it back. And so what ends up happening as Izuku gives the clothes to Hogakure, he gives her a book and goes, your quirk is not really effective upon a physical term or any form of this, so we should work on your stealth and your ability to attack. Here, I've given you a set of instructions upon what you need to do. And Aizawa smiles and looks at Izuku. Izuku gives the book to her, and she goes, oh, thank you, Izuku. And he goes, not to mention it. And not only that, I put a trace around for you. Put these glasses on. Same type of material. She puts the glasses on and puts it in her eyes. And as she does so, she looks down, and she's like, she sees her hands for the first time, fully. Like she can see herself for the first time using these goggles, these glasses. And Izuku goes, yeah, I know. It's pretty interesting, right? And no, I didn't put them on to look at you. And she blushes more, but thanks to my quirk, I can kind of see you thanks to my telekinesis. And she's just so grateful for Izuku, and she goes, why am I so special? And Izuku goes, I don't like how people feel. You and certain people make me feel sorry for you guys. And I'm not going to do this because I pity you guys. No, within my abilities, I have the power to do what I can do. And because I can do this, I can help you. I have this for everyone, not just you. So note that, okay? And as your class president, it's my job to make sure that everyone is at their best and at their A game, right? And so it's right. She takes her note, she runs away, and she thanks Izuku again. She disappears. Aizawa smiles. What ends up going down is Izuku goes, He looks at the boy that talks to insects, and he goes, I know you don't like to talk. And so Izuku begins to hand sign to him, and it's perfect. And it makes Koda so happy that he can talk to Izuku. And Izuku goes, I have an idea. Why did you talk to? And Izuku uses his quirk, uses his ability, and he just goes and touches Koda's mind, the one that controls animals and insects, and he goes, oh, so it's your fear of insects and bugs. Well then, this is your task today. Izuku uses his telekinesis and grabs a beetle, and he goes, hold this for today, and try your best not to scream or squeal, and conversate with it, okay? Make this beetle your friend. It will in turn will make you stronger to be able to slowly but surely open up, okay? And Izuku also uses telekinesis to call a bird to him. And Koda goes, Science, you can talk to animals? And Izuku, no, I can influence them. There's a bigger difference. And he said, oh, just like how you can, but your one's more of a suggestive one. My one is I can dominate anything if I want to. And this shocks Koda. And what goes down is Koda just bows, and he goes off to do his one. And Izuku begins to do this with everyone. He begins to give pointers with everyone's abilities. Even Jiro's, he finds Jiro's abilities quite interesting as well. He goes, your quirk is strong. You should work on trying to do more with your quirk, at the same time work on your physical attributes as well. Not only that, probably use an external thing besides using your earphone jacks as well. And she goes, what do you mean? Well, he goes, you can plug it and make weapons and weaponize your earphone jacks, right? And she goes, yeah. Well, same thing, but try and work it in a way where you can use your abilities outside using the earphone jacks. Not impossible. Try to give it a go, and she does. She begins to proceed to do things. Izuku even gives her like a new type of subwoofer kind of thing, where she puts over her mouth, much like what's it called, a prison mic. But this one is completely different. When she plugs in the earphone jacks, whenever she says a word or anything like that, she can use it to make it like a heartbeat barrier, using her her frequency quirk, whatever the hell it is. But it's powerful as hell thanks to Izuku making that modification for her. And so as she goes on, Izuku goes to everyone else. He gives a unique bar to Sato, the one that eats sugar. He tells him what he needs to work upon. Long-lasting, slow-burning sugary fat things to help him, and he does it, you know. Kaminari, he gets Kaminari to wear a copper coil around his hands. That copper coil will stop him from discharging electricity and absorbing it. At the same time, Izuku wants him to be at his high voltage at all time while wearing it. The copper bands will keep the electricity around his body, but it will still kind of fry Kaminari if he doesn't learn how to regulate it. He tells Kaminari to go do his strongest attack, and then keep it powered up and work his way all the way back down to 0 while it's still powered up. And do that non-stop, non-stop, non-stop. Even if you start becoming dumb, do it non-stop, non-stop. Zero, he wants him to shoot as much tape as he can out of his arms, and then begin to manipulate it and see if he can make stronger tape. And Zero agrees. Izuku looks at Todoroki and he goes, to be honest, I don't need to work on much about you. All you need to do is, Izuku tells him, you need to jump in a bowl of water and regulate the water using your ice and fire outside of it. And he's like, okay. And then he looks at Bakugo. He goes, Katsuki. Walks over to him. You just need to dip your hand in boiling water to get it sweating enough. Who knows? You could probably do bigger detonations doing this, but that's what you need to do. Ochako, besides making yourself anti-gravity where you're about to puke, make things light. Even yourself weigh about 1 kilogram. Make a kilogram the limit to everything it weighs. It'll lessen the nausea and increase it over a period of time, okay? And she agrees. Izuku looks at Momo and he gives her a special pouch. And she's like, what's this? This is a special juice pouch that helps you increase your lib notes or whatever that you use to make your objects. And she smiles and Izuku goes, yeah, it'll help you create faster. This is what I want you to do. And I want you to go out your imagination and create the structures and compounds that I put over here, okay? And she sees this and she realizes that Izuku's making her create compounds that she can use to increase her ability to use creation. And she's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Izu. And Zuzu, and she kisses him. She runs off. And then a certain amount of people are right there. Mina, Izuku tells her to focus on your acid instead of just shooting your acid and flicking it around. Why don't you compress it in your hand and shoot it like a squirt gun? She does that and she squirts acid, and not only that, why don't you save your some of your acids into like mini acid vials, you know? Make very powerful ones that can destroy metal instantly, or make very weak ones where it makes it slippery for everyone else, you know? Mina likes it, you know, and incorporate it with your fighting style. And she agrees, so Izuku hands her the little vials that she can make into, like, you know, mini acid bombs or acid restrainers, you know, all that stuff. Izuku makes it slow but surely makes his way down to Mineta. Mineta's nervous, you know, and Izuku goes, 1, I'm gonna work on your perviness because that pisses me off. Stop gawking at my girlfriend. You're lucky I can't rip your head off. Mineta hears this and Aizawa looks at Izuku with a serious face like, whoa. Oh, Mineta better watch out. And 2, you don't realize how useful your quirk is as well. You don't realize how useful your quirk is there. Gumbo head, whatever, Mineta. Mineta's like shocked and he goes, what can I do? And Izuku goes, you want to be working with me? And Mineta's like, oh, but why? And he goes, 1, I didn't want to take pity on you because you're really annoying. At the same time, I can see the possible applications for your quirk. Alright? And I have an idea. Izuku goes, he gets some duct tape. Momo, he goes, Momo, and she goes, yeah, before you go, can you make me some duct tape? She instantly looks at Izuku, she reveals her chest because she can, and makes a duct tape in front of Izuku, which makes him blush. He kisses her and says goodbye. He goes by Mineta, and what he does is he puts duct tape at the bottom of his feet, and the bottom of his, bottom of his feet. And Mineta's like, what are you doing? And Izuku grabs Mineta's sticky balls using telekinesis and sticks them to Mineta's feet. And what happens is, what are you doing? He goes, the balls don't stick to you, right? You're effectively immune to them. He goes, yeah. And he goes, well, now that you have, but they can't be removed unless you remove them, right? If they stick to anything, he goes, yes. He goes, jump. And he jumps with them. He jumps really high. And he's like, what did you just do? And he goes, I made a new use for your quirk. See, duct tape is simple, you know? Putting duct tape around prevented the natural unstickiness of the balls to stick to your body. But now that you have something in between, the balls can stick to you, which will lead to a certain unique situation. Izuku pulls out a suit right in front of Mineta and he goes, what's that? The suit here I created is to effectively make you a really powerful hero. Mineta goes, why is that? It relies on your sticky balls, of course. However, the unique thing about this will allow you to pretty much jump around the forest and move rapidly fast. I saw you on the side stepping and you're incredible. And it gave me the idea on how to make this. And so Mineta puts on the new gauntlet he has, or not a new arm kind of sleeve, and he removes that stupid diaper and Izuku puts him on like a militarized kind of gear. Mineta's like, whoa, this is pretty cool, but what do I do? Izuku uses his telekinesis and he goes, you see these little grooves here between your arms and your legs? Put one in the spacing of your bicep and your forearm, which Mineta does, and put the other one behind your arm, your triceps, and so he does the same, and he goes do the same thing behind your leg. Mineta does so and put 2 on your feet. Mineta goes, what's this? Now go and jump. Your goal is to make sure you don't hurt yourself and gain new bearings as you jump around. The sticky balls on your arms will allow your arm to pull themselves back, you know, and give extra force to bounce you around. And Izuku goes, with this you can probably hold onto someone and punch them backwards and forth non-stop. And Izuku goes, what do you mean? Izuku grabs Mineta and makes Mineta punch the tree. As Mineta punches the tree, his arm bounces back because the sticky ball on the back of his arm bounces, and the sticky ball in front of his arm pulls back. So his arm pulls back, and it goes, it's like a non-stop, punching hard, non-stop. And Mineta's like, what the hell? As it goes, think of this as a grape machine gun. And Mineta's like, so he's crying, 1, due to the pain, and 2, that Izuku has made his power less dorky. And Izuku smiles, no, your quirk, even though you're annoying, your quirk's quite incredible. In fact, you'll become a great rescue hero. Keep that in mind, right? And Mineta's like, yeah, I will, Doria, thank you so much. Izuku's like, cool. Now, I'll tell you this one more time. Stop being pervy, idiot. If you want girls to like you, want girls to recognize you, do more. Do better, okay? Mineta goes, I will, Midoriya, I will. And so Izuku looks around and everyone starts to do it. Everyone starts to utilize their quirks better, you know? And Aizawa smiles. This is going to be the best vacation ever. Midoriya, Izuku goes, I understand. Principal Nezu told me that you wanted me to take over. And he goes, right you are, kid. Aizawa goes to sit down on an absolute cool chair and enjoy his rest. When the Wild Pussycat sees this, they're like, what do we do? Aizawa goes, just sit there and watch. That's all you need to do. Izuku sees Koda, the young boy, and he goes, Koda, come. Koda comes to Izuku, and he goes, yeah, Izuku, and he goes, come here. He goes, you alright? And he goes, yeah, and Izuku picks him up, makes him sit on his shoulders, and Izuku begins to float. And he goes, come around with me. So what do you see? And he goes, people trying to use their abilities and become stronger. He goes, yes, that's what you see, but they're all trying to aspire to be heroes. And why are they aspiring to be heroes? He goes, I don't know. Because it's the right thing to do and they have the power to do so. And that's what your mother and father did. They had the power to do so, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to pester you too much. And Koda just looks down at Izuku, and Izuku just taps his head. But don't worry, I have your back, okay? And he goes, yes, Izuku, and he smiles. And he rubs his head, and he goes, don't worry, I'll help you out. And as they're flying around, Koda's just enjoying his time. Izuku throws Koda off, and he screams for a bit, and Izuku uses his ability to keep Koda in the air, and he goes, just fly around. Don't worry, I allowed myself to, I'm allowing you to use my quirk in a sense to fly around Koda. So you can freely fly around me. Koda's like, this is incredible, this is so cool. He flies around, and Mandalay is just so happy for what Izuku is doing for her nephew. You know, Izuku's just floating there, smiling. Aizawa realizes that Izuku has his eyes over everyone, and he's still distracted by Koda, and it doesn't faze him. He smiles. And what goes down, as Izuku is wrapping it up with the day, everyone goes back to class. And Aizawa goes back, and this is day 1 of their training. And as Izuku lies in bed with Momo, because bear in mind Izuku is sleeping with White Momo in his room, he's not going to give a damn. He's sleeping there lying thinking like, wonder how the next day is going to go. And as Izuku's doing that, this is where I'm actually going to leave this What If. I think I said I was going to make this a What If movie, but it is a What If movie part 1 of 2. Okay, or 1 more, 3, we'll see how things go. But this is where I'm going to leave this What If, guys. It's a little bit long, and this is just movie 1 part 1, okay guys? So I hope you guys all understand. And I hope you guys are ready for all the new What Ifs. Bear in mind, I kind of lost a lot of my other videos stuff, so there's that. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and as usual, this is Dr. Kahu saying peace.